as usual.
As usual, he'll blame us.
No one is to blame. No,
Hey,
everybody
our
is to
job is
blame.
to make you look good, Cub. So,
I think we are already live. Damn it.
well, that shouldn't have went out over the air.
Okay. Hey, let's pretend we are friends, okay? So, the
Uh-oh.
show must go on. So, yeah, welcome to Cubs Corner. And I think, oh, thanks God, because the club put in here, he can't wait for Greg's Corner. He already gets it wrong. I don't know why. He confuses that with Greg's Corner, but it is Cubs Corner, and it will forever be. Is it correct, Greg?
That is correct.
And we have a guest here tonight. Cat Claw Entertainment.
Hi, Cat.
Yeah. Hi. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, we are glad to have you here. Normally, we it's just a sausage fest, what you call it, and it's nice to have a woman. Sometimes a woman, yeah. So, and
She's a friend of both of our channels. She's always in the chat. It's good to see her.
Yeah, and I've heard you come from Texas. Is that correct?
No, I have family that's in Texas. I'm in Ohio.
Oh, okay, Ohio. Is Ohio also one of these places where they don't have these corona restrictions like in Texas, or is Ohio Biden land?
It depends on where you go. Like where I live, it's kind of smaller town, and like nobody's enforcing masks really, except like hospitals or something like that. And but if you go for like 50 miles north of where I live to the big city in Columbus, they're enforcing masks. We can't get, there's only one venue I can find that won't enforce masks or vaccines to even go see concerts at now, because everywhere we would go watch concerts at, you have to not only be wearing the mask, you have to be vaccinated. So it just all depends. The bigger cities is where I'm noticing that at, but like smaller towns I live in, it's less restrictive. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's like here in Germany. You have to be vaccinated, boosted. You have to wear a mask, and you need a test also. Because my mother has all of that, but she didn't get a test, another test to enter a store, and they throw her out of the store. She's 80, by the way.
Wow.
And
oh my God.
they
That's awful.
also throw her out of the hospital. She wanted to visit a friend here, a woman in her age, a befriended woman who got vaccinated like her, and also got here these issues with the vaccination where you get something with the heart and blood clots and things like that. She got that also, and they said to her, no, she is not allowed to see her because of some stupid what the fuck. So this poor old woman doesn't get now visitors besides one of her son or her daughter or something like that, who don't care, who don't have time. And my mother, we live nearby the hospital. She's her best friend, and she's not allowed to see her ever in the hospital because they made this stupid rule that just one person is the only one who ever can see her as a visitor for a few minutes or something like that. It's really. I don't want to start with that because then it's just sad. Okay, it's just sad. Yeah.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah.
Mm.
So just small explanation here on the names. Most people, I think, are getting that. We here in Germany, we have a new star on the here on the roof, or what you call it. It's the Omicron man. We have a new leader, a new Führer, I think you call it, and the new
Fuba.
yeah, a new Führer, Führer. Yeah, and yeah, and he also, we call him the Omicron man because he with him we have now this new star, Omicron, which is 0% deadly with 100% survival rate. So just like the other stupid things. Yeah, and which is a star in Germany, but it's a South African so-called virus variant, which in South Africa nobody has ever heard of. So it's just a star here in the other countries, but in the country where it's supposed to come from, on the continent, they say, "Huh, Omicron? No, no, what's that?"
I wanted to give a shout out to Borley Bar or Bear and
Yeah, Burley.
Brandon, both in the chat.
Yeah, hi,
Good to see
Brett.
y'all here.
Yeah, nice. Burley is, by the way, is from Germany. He's one of these Germans who can speak English. They are very rare, I can tell you, because the Germans barely can speak German. Most of them are stupid fucks, like everywhere else. They don't even speak their own language, and you can't really get from them another language, something like English or something like that. No way. But Burley, he's okay. He's cool. He speaks English very well, I have to say. Yeah, and so we are here, the variants, and yeah, Epsilon. Is Epsilon, I think, is it coming, Epsilon, or is it already, did they jump over it? I think it's one of the upcoming ones, or not? Epsilon.
It's got to be the one that's upcoming.
Yeah.
Although there is
yes.
good news. Apparently the U.S. Army's got some new vaccine thing that's supposed to cure all previous versions, all future versions, including the SARS and everything else. We just have to wait for you can count on the U.S. military.
Yeah, but Greg, it can maybe it can cure every variant, but it can't cure the big one, because Omicron is the little O. That's the meaning in the Greek alphabet, and the big O is the last letter in the alphabet, which is U. The Omega, Greg. If they say we have now the Omega variant and we get the Omega man, then you know what that means. The last man on Earth.
Well, you saved the best for last.
Yes, the big one. Here, Greg. You're the big one. We will survive all variants, but then the last one, Omega. Oh my God, no, that was too much. Killed all. With average age of 84, I think. So, like the other ones. So. Yeah, so that's enough for me. I'm out here from the moderating, and now back to Greg, who is going to tell us what is next.
Okay, well, we've got a exciting show. If any of y'all guys have seen Squid Game on Netflix, that's our first item up on the agenda. We also have Inside Job, the new Dexter, Midnight Mass, various new trailers and new movies that are out, plus the movie I picked that I think everybody's going to like, called Boss Level. But we can start out. Did you want to do a segment, Kat, like Kat's Corner? Anything you want to say or talk about before we start?
My goodness, let's see here. Yeah, it's like for a Christmas movie last night. I've never seen it. I was 10 years old when it came out, and I remember that it got banned. But I watched Silent Night, Deadly Night last night for my Christmas movie, and I liked that. It had a good kill count and all that, and I liked the gore. That's what I like. But what's blown me away is Squid Games. I watched maybe 4 episodes with my best friend, and I watched the whole thing with my mom. We both watched that together. She's 82, and that it's hard for me to get sucked into something that quickly. But even the aesthetics of it all, I was just shocked. I was like, and all of us have agreed on it when we talked. It was like, I said, this show has like an anime vibe, because I watch a lot of anime, and I'm like, especially the gory anime, and I'm like, the colors, the way it's done. I said, it's just really good. I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I binge watched it.
Well, that's interesting, and it leads right into our first topic, which is actually Squid Games. And I didn't think about the anime connection to that. Cub assigned us, most of this stuff, and once again, he's picked out some interesting stuff to watch. It's not boring.
Yeah, he always does pick some interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I watched Squid Games too, and just like Cat Claw, I was sucked right in. I initially, when it started out with he was a bad father, and it's like, oh God, is this going to be another show about daddy issues?
Wait a second. Did you watch the Squid Game show, the series? I meant the manga. What you call it, the fish porn Squid Game, with these tentacles and so on.
You missed the actual squid. No.
Oh my God! So
so
you watched the complete
series.
Yeah,
Squid
so you
Game.
watched complete. Oh my God! So you watched the complete wrong thing.
You wanted me to watch like a monitor that's focused on some squid. You ever seen those live cams? And they just slowly move around. They have them on there for 24 hours. That would be your assignment.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about the serious. I thought we talk about the interesting one. That's okay.
No, but like Kat was saying, the colors are vibrant and different. The costumes, very unusual. I don't know how to describe it. I was instantly suspicious of the old man and how he was surviving, but it looks like he put himself in the dangerous line of fire. Of course, he knew, like in the first game, not to do and what to do. The reactions of the people as people were being killed about them. To me, there would have been some people who reacted differently in a survival mode, but it just seemed to be hit and miss there because they were all so shocked. After the first episode, or after the first game where they're murdering so many of them, and I was very surprised that they had a vote where they could actually leave, and they voted, and they were allowed to leave.
And by the way, before we talk about it, let's just give a little bit technical things from it, that people know what we are talking about who haven't seen it. We are talking about a series, first season, 9 episodes, where they are kind of an hour every episode, but just not the last one, the one before the last one is 30 minutes. It's a very short one, which has a reason, I think. It's just the one shortly before the final kind of 30 minutes, but the rest are 1 hour episodes kind of, and it's on Netflix, and it's the first season, so it's possible that they make a season 2. This is just and it's a Korean series, so that's just the normal information that people get what we're talking about. And also we have to tell them what is the premise of the show, Greg.
Well, the premise, there's a guy who's heavily in debt. Now, all these people who go into the Squid Games are heavily in debt, and he's riding on the subways or whatever trains they have there in Korea, and someone comes up and offers him money if he's allowed to slap him. If he can't win at a certain kind of game where they drop something on the ground, then he can get slapped, but he gets money for it. And at the end of it, he gives him a card, and the card ends up leading to being a participant in these Squid Games. And the Squid Games turn out to be kid games and other types of games, but with deadly consequences.
Yeah, it's like a little bit battle royale or not.
Yes, very much like Battle Royale. And I'm not going to give away the whole thing. We talk about it usually. While talking about it, we don't give everything away. So that's how we normally do these things. But I found it quite interesting, and I think y'all people should go out and watch it. I think you'll really enjoy it. It looks like all three of us are in agreement that this was a high quality series.
Yeah, but Greg, I think this series is old enough. She's out there for months.
That's true. It's been months, people. Months.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we can't properly talk about it without spoilers. And
yeah, well, that's what you usually do, is you jump in and give the spoiler. But I try not to, so they don't hate me.
yeah, but you are Texan, and you are just too polite. I told you that already a few times.
You've told me that every show.
Yeah, you're just too nice of a person. So, and I'm German, so
I'm trying to be meaner. Okay.
We don't have even a word for that here in Germany.
No.
So
we got 10 words for it.
Yeah. Like here, the Norwegian guys, they have 50 words for snow or something like that. Yeah, here, something like that. And you have 50 words for politeness, and we don't have even one for it. So
like the old joke, the French have 5 words for surrender and no word for victory.
Yes, in French. Yeah. They're a very short dictionary.
I'm sorry to any French people.
I'm not. I'm not sorry to French people. In the moment when they grow a spine, then we can talk about it again. So
that'll be a while. We were talking about squids. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying French people were related to squids.
But it looks like they're growing one, because we are, of course, talking about the French government. We are not talking about the French people, because the people in French, they are on the streets and are revolting against this mess. So
I love the French people.
Yeah, kudos to that. They are brothers in arms, at least for me, because I'm also on the street every moment I can. I'm on the street protesting against this system, and so I hope that the French get rid of their corrupt government, like we are going to get rid of ours. I can tell you, I'm very positive with that. And so Greg, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. We can. As I said, we can spoil this whole thing because.
Well, you go ahead, and you haven't said your part on it. I gave the premise. I guess I could. Talk about his friend betraying him. You know, on the part where he had figured out that you know, when they were doing the basic geometric shapes, and he let him take a shape that would be nearly impossible, basically trying to sentence him to death. His friend was a dirty person, and he's constantly working against him.
Yeah, not constantly, because at the beginning, in the first game that you already mentioned, which is in the first episode, he saves his life. Don't forget that.
Well, that's true, but he hadn't had a chance to really figure out what was going on. That was his basic instinct. As soon as he thought about it, and he realized that he actually might survive and be a rival, he worked immediately towards getting him killed.
Okay, Kat, what How did you get that with the friend? Do you think the friend was kind of the bad guy, or is it more to that?
He was definitely a bad guy. He betrayed the betrayal of the trust of your friend, and not just that, he was part of the small group, and he betrayed the group. So if you want to be against me, at least don't sit there and share my protection and my eat my food and then stab me in the back. If you want to be an
Okay,
enemy, be an enemy. That's fine, but
okay.
don't be deceitful about it, especially
No,
if you're already my friend.
wait a second. I think there was a little more to that. Kat, what do you think? This part where the friend looks like that he is betraying the others. Oh,
There is a deeper and something that I was thinking about there when I was near the very end. I think it was like the last episode or next to last episode. They were friends since childhood. It wasn't like
yeah,
they were just friends and adult. They were friends at childhood. And if you remember at the very first
yeah,
episode, the guy that's telling the story is the guy that's the main character. And you're watching all these kids playing the Squid Game
yeah.
on the playground.
The Squid Game.
Yes. And I think to myself, because I look at him and it's like, hey, that kind of looks like him. I wonder if this is them actually playing on that playground. And then also factoring in the old man and knowing what we all three know about that.
Yes, the good person. Our
there's relatives to this. There's gotta be. This goes so deep.
Our good person, our main hero, he gets betrayed from his friend, and or feels that he got betrayed because he himself didn't get betrayed. It's the guy who saved his life. This Iraq guy or Pakistan guy or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets betrayed from this friend. And the thing is, in the same episode, our main hero betrays the old man.
Yeah.
And he kills him with that.
But he doesn't kill him because the old man is in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah, but he didn't know
so
that.
Perhaps he sensed something there.
No, he was crying.
Yes, maybe you don't know.
He was crying when he left the scene, knowing
he's
that
very emotional.
Yeah, he's very emotional. But sorry, when we see him crying, then for me, he thinks that the guy dies, even if
Perhaps,
he
perhaps
had
not.
remorse. He had remorse and empathy and sorrow for that. Him and the girl from North Korea. But that's something I noticed about both those characters. They were the only two that really showed a lot of remorse.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody who gets to the end, to the last group of people, everybody who gets there has to kill everybody else before that. So
and that's the last challenge, is killing your partner.
But it really doesn't matter. From my personal view, it doesn't matter if you get there with remorse or not, because at the end you had to kill the others. And for me, it's much more honest, because this was a businessman we're talking about who betrayed here the Pakistan guy, and at the end acted kind of like an asshole. But in fact, he was a realist. He was just a realist. He wasn't.
Yeah.
He knew exactly there will be only one is going to survive this thing. He knew it from the start. And for him,
kill or be killed, or survival of the fittest.
Yes, and also don't want to forget, at the very last episode, he killed himself. That the other,
he did.
yeah. So who is now the real monster, or who really at the
Well,
end?
the answer is we're all monsters. We're just in different guises.
Exactly.
And that's what it reveals. But the way he went about his deal, yes, he was more honest in some ways, but he was deceitful, and he hid what he knew. He should have said that from the start. He should have said, "Hey,
Yeah, but Greg, don't you have the feeling that we got a little bit manipulated in not liking this guy and liking the other guy, because this guy is the businessman who pretended to be rich, who lied to his family about that and things like that. So as a business guy who is rich or pretends to be rich, of course we don't like him as
no."
much
You
as the
also had
poor
the
guy.
part where they showed his mom, and his mom was giving up everything for him, and you had that part that made you root for him in a way. So it wasn't
Yeah.
100%. Oh, he's just a terrible person. You had this dichotomy that's pulling you the other way. It's like, well, he's got to win this for his mom, and she's always talking
Yeah,
good
and
about
and
him.
and, and there's one thing I don't know if people really got that in the not in the last episode, in the episode before that, when they were on the last here on this glass thing where they had to jump on these glass plates, where some of them could get the weight of two people, and some of them are break if you go on them, and he here our hero, or what you want to call him, he is confronting his friend, saying, hey, you killed this guy here in the last game. You didn't have to kill him, because he didn't want to jump, and so he pushed him, and the glass broke, and but the thing is, if we wouldn't have done that, he would never have survived, because
None
he
of them would have
survived
survived.
in the last second. And if his killer friend, didn't push the other guy, he wouldn't be allowed or able to even finish the task.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, they
what
would
he
have all
even told
died.
him too.
He had delayed way too long.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
was his defense when it was brought up to him. Even he said, "Well, if I wouldn't have done that, we all would have died. Nobody would have made it." Yeah,
Yeah, but probably
and
he
he's
would have
right.
made it. Probably, maybe he, because he was the nearest, and maybe he could have, because this glass could take two people, and so he at least had a chance. But the others,
Right.
for no way. So if he is really this selfish guy, he would never have made that. He could have waited a little bit more.
You couldn't wait any longer. They waited too long as it was. The clock was almost up. You're right. He had to push him. He was taking too long.
Yeah, so that's what I
So
mean.
you're saying basically the business guy is what Cub would have been like in this situation?
No, I have pushed them all without any reason. I would have come back and then pushed them, just that they can't finish their task. Please, I'm German. Do I have to remind you every time on that?
You do.
Yeah.
And good evening, Dr. Bullock.
Yeah, Magic is also. Yeah. So it's a stream
high
where
acid
our friends and Magic are listening. Oh, nice. So yeah, that's what I mean. That I think there is much more to these. It's not these black and white, but there is also.
Oh, it's definitely not black and white. This thing is multi-layered and very interesting.
Yeah, it
with
has
lots
about
of twists and turns.
Yeah, it has also a little bit stupid stuff in it, I have to say, because when it comes to the portray of foreigners here, when Korean or Japanese or whatever, when they portray foreigners, which are most of the time Americans, they really suck, I have to say, because all the scenes with these rich people who were, of course, who were also super gay and things like that, they were not entertaining at all. I thought they were too cheesy. They dragged this whole thing down. Also with these golden masks and animal mask and so on. I really thought they could have come up with something more grounded, because the whole rest is so good. It's just these parts, they come off so cheesy. Or what do you think?
Oh, those were clearly Americans, so they were betting on the outcome, and yeah, they had ridiculous masks. And of course,
Yeah.
we didn't even mention the fact that there's a police officer, the brother of one of the earlier contestants who died, who infiltrates it and gets in a whole battle. There's a whole second story to the thing.
Yes, and when you were telling that they stopped the game, this was in the second episode, because this is not just, it's not like Battle Royale exactly. It's not that they have no choice at all. If they don't want to be there, they make a democratic vote, and with 50% who don't want to be there, the game is over. But nobody gets a cent, and at the end, the last one gets everything, which is billions or something like that, because I have no clue what these billions are worth in real money.
That's what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
I think it would translate to tens of millions of U.S. dollars or euros or something, but it
You
could
mean
be more. Like y'all, I couldn't tell how much
maybe
it was actually worth.
it's tens of hundreds of dollars.
That would
Tens
be
of
funny.
hundreds of cents. Hey, maybe this is something like the lira or something like that. So the billion lira is kind of $5 or something like that. Who knows?
But anyway, that was a pretty interesting show. And seeing as we're 45 minutes in and we're still on number 1, maybe we should move to number 2. Or do y'all have more to say about this one?
No, Kat, have you some final words on this one?
I want to rewatch it again and actually like take notes on it. Like in particular, the thing we were talking about with the game, where his friend messed him over and he had to do the hard shape that was almost impossible. The episode before that, when he was dropping his daughter off, trying to see her and asking for money because his mom was sick. It was raining out, and the last thing he looked at was the umbrella in the corner. Then he walks outside, and it's raining. And I think that was kind of leading forward to the next episode with that shape. I think there's a lot of layers to that show.
There are a lot of layers.
Yes, I think the show is very good in the first two thirds. The last third, I thought, gets a little bit weak, because then we get the introduction of these bad guys, which are for my taste just too generic.
Because they were really two-dimensional.
Yeah, they were, and also the explanation for the whole game. It's just this old guy. He just wanted to make a game for his friends who are bored to death. These rich friends.
And I was kind of disappointed that the guy didn't do more good things when he got the money. I mean, he has that money. There's lots of stuff you could do good. Instead, he just doesn't even touch it. And then at the very end, he's willing to just let it all go after going through all that, when he knows all these people are out there could desperately, just like the super rich. Now he doesn't want to help them because the money's been tainted. Well, that's ridiculous. It's still money. It could still do a lot of good. You're a good person, but you're too damn stubborn or lazy or in shell shock to do the right thing.
Yeah, and also we had till the end, we had a woman. There were 2 men and one woman who survived the last game. till the last game, and that was kind of, for me, a kind of lazy way to get rid of the woman
Yeah.
with this explosion at the end.
Hello?
From this. Yeah, are you still there?
I've got an audio issue. I'll have to go out and come back in.
Oh no. Oh my God. He got really Omega. The Omega variant. Oh my God, it's here. But I thought the Epsilon comes first. Damn it. I'm not prepared for so soon getting dying so soon, because I have heard the Omega one, you just get 84 years old or something like that, and then you have to die, or
Oh, wow.
85 5 years. So
Hello?
Greg, yeah,
Can y'all hear me?
Houston, everything is okay, or do we have a
Yeah,
problem,
well, I
Houston?
had a technical issue once again. You know, that's pretty regular with me. My technology fails me, and the best way I can cure it is by going out and coming back in and solve it.
Yeah, I had on the German stream 2 days ago, I had two computer crashes, and the two people were 2 times alone. I was just gone. Yeah.
I was watching. You disappeared out of the chat. I was wondering, they kept going on, but I could barely understand German. I can understand a little bit.
Hey, you knew 2 weeks before that it is in German. You had plenty of time to learn German. So
Yeah, well, that's plenty of time, but I have other stuff to do. Luckily, Cat Claw is a German speaker apparently, so she can translate.
A little bit. That's one of the things I don't think when I learned it, because it was either take that or Spanish, and I took that. I'm surrounded basically by Amish and Mennonite country, and that's what they speak is German, and it's part of my lineage, and it's like, well, okay, I took it, but I don't think she taught me like the grammar right, how to put it in the proper order. So that's where I have trouble with that.
No, that's great.
Right,
hey, Greg, so I don't have to use this stupid language anymore, and I can speak in the real true language, which everybody is going to speak anyway in a few years when we take over again. So yeah,
you can try.
Yeah, we are going to take everything over besides Texas, because we have very much respect for Texas. It's the last great country out there. So
can I be Burgermeister of Cleveland, please?
Yeah, there you go.
No, Kat, you have Texan roots. That's great, really. I think really from Texas, the best people come from Texas, for me, for sure. I have to say.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
we have a lot of Germans in Texas too, So
yeah, as I said, the best people.
Okay, so let's move on to our second one. We kind of lingered a little long on the first topic, but I wanted to stay on that longer because Kat had actually seen it, and maybe she can catch up with this one for the next show. But it's a little show also on Netflix called Inside Job. It's about conspiracies, and it's animated.
Yeah, and Greg, could you and Kat talk a little bit about this show? Then I go to the bathroom and join you.
Okay, go ahead.
I myself have not seen it,
I know.
but just hearing those two words makes me want to.
That's why it's perfect that I get to talk to you about it. It's a fun series. It's animated. Basically, they're like a secret government agency that deals with secret conspiracies, and they have half human, half fish, a military guy, and they've got a black woman, and the the head of the agency is this brilliant but flawed young woman. Her father is like the former mad scientist who was in charge of it, and they go through various adventures. It's not a long series, and there's only like I think half-hour episodes, but it was another one that Cub recommended, and I actually liked it. I think
I'll
you're gonna
probably
like it
like
too.
it too. Oh yeah, I probably will because everything you just told me, it's like, oh yeah, that'll draw me right in.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And Cub will be able to set us up with even more when he does his more in-depth analysis in just a little bit.
Huh? What's that?
Yeah.
I was
Empty.
just saying, Kat unfortunately hasn't had a chance to watch it yet, but she's planning on it, so that's
Uh,
good news.
okay. Did you give an insight on Inside Job?
Yeah, I gave a brief analysis and a summation of it without any spoilers, but I know you like to spoil stuff.
Yeah, but
I basically it's an animated series. It's a fun series. It's got a nice concept. The lead character is a female, and she's got her father. She has father issues for sure because he's bat fuck crazy. He's a mad scientist basically, and he built that hugging robot for her, which that basically blows up in their face at the end of the first season. They well, we haven't heard what Cub has to say. Cub might
yeah.
have hated it, and he might have only had me watch it for who knows
No,
what
no,
reason.
I really liked it, and it's
I didn't think she was woke, even though she's brilliant and all this, because she's flawed. She's an actual human being. These woke people are OP. They're overpowered and perfect and boring. The series isn't boring. It's kind of a fun series. You never know what's going to happen from one episode to the next. Even though it's about conspiracies, it's more about the people at the agency than it is about the conspiracies themselves. That's just stuff that's going on around them, and it's interesting and fun. But they actually have character development, which is different.
yes, it's more. I also got it really more like a satire. It's that it's a show that tries to make jokes and fun uh, about stuff, and it uses the premise with the conspiracies because it's an endless. Uh, you have endless thing you can make fun about. You can say the Earth is flat, or it's round, or it's there are lizard people, or there aren't, and so on. And we have no clue what is really true. It's really more like a Man in Black, which with more slapstick elements, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good summary. It's like Man in Black, but slapstick.
Yeah, and
But it's different too. It's different.
yeah, it's a Woman in Black, what I wanted to make with the fourth one, but done right.
Yeah, you could sum it up like that.
Yeah, because in the fourth Man in Black, they tried to make this woman, Mary Sue character, and everything was super woke. It was a complete disaster. This one shows how to do it. You can have a strong female lead, but as you said, when she has flaws and issues and things like that, makes her much more relatable to normal people. And also the father was very funny.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah, and I liked kind of every episode. It was really I can't think of one which I really didn't like at all or something like that. I thought they were all good or at least okay.
Well, when we talk about a relatable character with flaws that other people can see themselves as, in the past, just because somebody wasn't the same gender as you or something, you didn't mean you couldn't relate to them if they were written properly. Plenty of people, women related to Luke Skywalker, and blacks and Mexicans and white, across race and gender. It's like Lucille Ball was the head of Desilu Studios, one of the most powerful studios, and she was responsible for shows like Star Trek and others that wouldn't have got made without her, and letting Star Trek have a second pilot. And she identified with like Captain Kirk. She specifically on a show called Mannix, where you had a white guy private investigator. She specifically said that she saw herself as him, and see, that was just normal. You didn't have to have somebody who was the exact same race, the exact same color, and more than that, that this person had flaws was normal. That makes you more relatable. For some
Yes,
reason, they think that you're only going to relate to somebody orientation, the same color, the same sex, and is perfect. That's where these woke people are insane.
yeah,
That's why they ruin so
and
much entertainment.
and she was a brilliant scientist here. This woman lead, but
Yeah,
also
and
this is the thing that really sticks out. She acted the whole time like a woman, like a normal woman. Had the problems like other women. She was couldn't find a date and things like that, and even made a robot to that the others see that she because. But for me, this is relatable stuff.
because
Even
she
as a,
basically didn't know how to date, and she was
yeah,
afraid
yeah,
to go out into the dating scene,
yes,
and she
yes,
was also this mad scientist. So why not make a robot so she can get a little practice? And of course,
yes.
that all blew up in her face because things are always going wrong for her. But you identify with her, you think it's charming and it's fun.
Yeah, and then when the robot leaves her, even that was it was so sad to see that the robot, because she made the robot perfect, but now she was not perfect enough for the robot. Oh, I thought that was so great. It was so cool, and because then the robot, by the way, here, Cat, because you haven't seen it. So she makes the robot every time she changes things with the robot to make him more perfect, fitting more to her. But then comes the time where the robot, she's not perfect enough for the robot himself, and he makes another her. He makes
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so crazy. And the other her is 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 uh, uh, um, looks like she's better, stronger, everything, and looks like it's the perfect version of her. And now she becomes irrelevant. It's really it's very very cool if you haven't seen it. I highly recommend that show. And it was a tip from Jess, by the way. Thanks for that. If he's listening, as I said, it was great. I can't wait to see the second season. I hope they don't go woke with that. But the first season is very good. It's a tip, I would say.
I'll have to watch that. It sounds good.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's really funny, and especially for conspiracy theorists and so on, like me. Uh, of course, it makes fun. I thought at first, oh, now they're making fun of the conspiracy theories, even if they aren't conspiracy theories, because no conspiracy theorist calls himself that. Because there are conspiracies, These are not theories. They are real. And that's why people believe them. At least people believe they are real. So I thought I would hate the show when I started to watch it, but then it turned out it was so charming, and I really didn't.
To be
see
fair, Cub usually thinks he's going to hate stuff before it starts.
Yeah, I thought they want to make fun now of these conspiracy theories which aren't conspiracy theories. The government is really working against the people, and if people don't see that now in Corona times, then I don't know really, because
Yeah, exactly.
it's so clear that they are working against the people. So yeah, and that's so I thought at first, do I really want to see how they make fun of conspiracy theories which aren't conspiracy theories? But no, they pulled it off. It's very well done. It's very entertaining. High recommendation from me.
Well, they're careful what they're making fun of, and they do a good job with it.
Yes. Especially what I really liked was the consistency, because in the first episodes you have this robot that she creates. This robot, this president robot, because it's the CIA or FBI. I think CIA what they are working for, and they say, the president, he's unreliable. So we are going to exchange him with the robot president, which is really funny, really. and this robot president, of course, goes crazy, and so they have to kill him or eliminate him. And but she couldn't do that because it was her biggest project. It was a kind of her lifetime project, and he became so she has hidden him in the basement.
Yeah,
and the whole series he plays a big part. And the thing is, when I talk about consistency, so her colleagues, for example, they figure out that she's hiding something, and so they can blackmail her so that they don't get fired, because she had to fire somebody, and they found him and say, oh, here, and the thing is, it makes all sense. It's really not, they don't just pull things out of their ass just for the episode. They really are very consistent with this whole thing, which is just great. It's a great world building for a show that supposed to be funny. I would like if they would put this creative thoughts in other shows, like Star Trek or something like that. But who am I fooling?
maybe they will.
Yeah.
So that's two series we can recommend. I guess we should maybe move on to the next series.
Yeah, I'm really not cool with that. Normally, I don't recommend any new stuff.
I know, it's shocking. I'm sure there'll be stuff weird. You can rant about shortly.
Yeah, it really feels weird for me.
I know. I feel sad for you, really, because you're more comfortable when you're ranting.
My genes, my German genes are revolting.
So topic number 3 is the new.
What? Greg? Houston, please. Houston, we have a problem. Can you hear us? Oh my God. It's really serious with this Ωmega variant.
It must be.
Yeah. So Omicron is gone, and now Ωmega comes in. Takes out the people out of the streets. I told you Corona is going digital, but nobody wanted to listen to me. I told you a year ago.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I would say, damn it! If he just would have give us a hint what is coming next. This script for this show is so badly written, really. That's typical. Here, our main actor here wants to say an important thing, and then he is out. So who is going to believe that? That is not realistic. This is a lazy script.
I know one thing he was wanting to talk about was Murder on the Nile.
Yeah, this
I watched the trailer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me everything. Did you see the original, by the way?
No, I have not.
It's an Agatha Christie story.
Yes.
And it's kind of a classic. Yeah, it's okay. The original, the old one. Did you see any of these Agatha Christie movies? For these?
The only Agatha Christie movie that I can really remember seeing was Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah, this is a great one. And
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't stand the remake. I thought it is bad, really. So, Houston, can you hear us?
Sorry about that. Once again, this time my entire internet crashed, and I had to go to my backup phone.
Oh my God, you have a blackout. I can see it clearly. You don't even have a thumbnail. It's so dark over there in Texas.
It's terrible. I've had such technical problems this show. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, okay, but that's realistic. So we talked about.
But you can hear me anyway, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like an inside job. It's realistic. You said you had technical problems.
Right when we were talking about conspiracies, they knocked me down. Okay, so we were gonna move to Dexter next. What did you think of that, Cub?
I couldn't stand it, but we thought we take first Nile, a death on the Nile. What would you say?
Oh, did y'all want to talk about that first?
Yeah, because you weren't here, and we had to improvise. And we don't know what to do without you.
Okay, that's.
You didn't even give us a hint. This is so lazy writing. You left us here completely on a cliffhanger.
I gave y'all the complete rundown for the show, and I even started talking about Dexter, but that's okay. So I saw the trailer, and I thought I can't tell too much about it. It's about Poirot, the detective. I'm probably pronouncing it improperly.
Let's call him by his name, Kenneth Branagh, because Kenneth Branagh plays Kenneth Branagh as usual. The director, when he takes the main lead in his movies, it's the Kenneth Branagh show as usual.
Okay, so what do you think? He can't do a good job?
I think he's a good actor and he's a good director, but he's not good when he does both at the same time. Because you could see that. Can you remember?
He's not able to direct himself. You mean?
He is able to direct himself, but not. But it becomes, everything else becomes irrelevant. He makes himself the kind of Mary Sue, which I hate. It's really like here best. You can see that best. Can you remember when Dracula was a hit? Back then, here Francis Ford Coppola, Dracula.
Yes.
Yes.
And directly after that, they tried to also make a new Frankenstein remake. Directed by Kenneth Branagh, and he also played Frankenstein. Not the monster, the doctor. And that was awful. Or not.
Yeah, it was bad. And you're saying it's because of his lack of direction?
It's because of his ego. I think he can't he can't take a back seat for the story. He has to play the main, he has to play the lead, and also it's really, I think he is better off when he gets direction than when he gives himself direction. It's just my personal view. on this guy. I'm not. I don't hate Kenneth Branagh. I think he is very talented. But as I said, he is not Superman. He is not. He can't direct, play the lead, produce, do everything, make the music, be the janitor on the set, everything at the same time. No, he's not that talented.
I'm going to jump out and come right back in on the other phone again if this one's failing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See you then.
Okay.
So, Kat. Okay, did you see the both Murder of the Orient Express, both versions, also the remake from Branagh?
I've seen the original. Oh God, what year was that made in? I was young when I seen it.
70s, I think.
Yes, that's what I was thinking, that it was in the 70s. I've seen that version, and then I've seen the new version, and I liked them both. The thing is, it was harder. Maybe this sounds weird, but it was harder for me because when it was the second version, the new one, I was able to go right off the bat, having not even read it or remembered the story for years and years and years. I went, she did it. And my mom was like dumbfounded 'cause she's a big Christie fan. And she was like, wow, you figured that out real easy. But it wasn't as easy to figure it out on the other one. It just, I can't explain it. It left more to your imagination to try to, it was just harder to figure out. It was better done. It was more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah. I like the original better.
Greg, I would say let's talk about our expectations with the new adaptation here with the Death on the Nile. Let's talk about it by talking about the last adaptation here, Orient Express, because we have all seen both versions, I think.
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen both versions, Kat?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Okay, y'all go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is, I couldn't stand the new version because it changed the story. It was not just a remake from the original. They inserted new elements which were just unnecessary. So instead of coming up with something original to add to the story, they put crap in there and made an ending which didn't leave any impact at all. Because in the original, it's a classic. It's really, I rewatch it from year to year. I rewatch it, even if I know exactly the outcome. And you would think with this kind of story, when you know who is the murderer, it's no fun to watch it. But it isn't. It is great. Even with the rewatch, it holds up very well. Even if you exactly know what is going on, it's an enjoyable watch every time.
It's like if you enjoy Columbo, watching the cat and mouse game between him, you already know who the murderer is at the beginning of each episode, and most people can even rewatch them and enjoy them. I think that's a similar thing.
Yes, and I have to say, Murder on the Orient Express, the original, if you don't know the twist, if you don't know who did it, of course, it's a great experience. First watch of it, if best you go in blind, don't know anything about the story. That's the best way to watch it. And also, if you can manage it, you should go back in time and watch it as a child. That is also very important. Because then
that's when I seen it. That's when I seen it when I was a kid, the 70s version. So I don't remember a lot about it. It was almost like, this is way too deep for me to conceive. And when you just brought all this up, I'm going to go rewatch it so that I watch it as an adult and get it all. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a child, it is kind of I would say it's a perfect movie. Really, there is nothing I could complain about the original. It's one of these rare cases where I give it a 10 out of 10, or what you call that. And if somebody hasn't seen it yet, go watch it. It's perfect. It's the best Agatha Christie adaptation, I would say. Greg, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
Even I haven't read the book, but it's the most interesting adaptation here with the name Agatha Christie on. Besides, of course, Miss Marple. Miss Marple tops it all because nobody can mess with Miss Marple. She's just the best. I would say.
And what you're saying, how they ruined the ending of the last one, having everybody be the murderer, if we're spoiling things, was ridiculous.
Yes, it's really.
It ruined it. There's really no point to it if they're all guilty.
It was already ruined in the first minutes when they had the scenes here at the Jewish wall or whatever here in Palestine, Israel, whatsoever. Where they had
the Wailing
scenes,
Wall, yeah.
Yeah. Because this was a show-off scene. Kenneth Branagh, I think he's a director and plays the main part here, the Hercule Poirot part, and I think this goes on him. This is because I think he thought, this new generation, they don't know that Hercule Poirot is the greatest detective ever, so we have to show them why the hell. Because in the original version, Perrault is treated with very much respect from everybody, because everybody knew that he's a great detective, but we had an actor for him here. What's his name? Who played Perrault in the original version?
Have you seen the ABC Murders with they have Malkovich playing Perrault?
No. No,
well, they kind of use. He is like, because he's a foreigner, everyone turns against him, and I think it was kind of based on the Trump, kind of an anti-Trump. It was made during that time, and they really go overboard on everyone hating him and no respect for him at all. And the old police guy who worked with him had died, and everyone else just considered him this dirty foreigner. And they really, it was really difficult to watch. When you talk about the respect and stuff, if you watch it, you're going to find it very difficult to even get through, even though the story itself was pretty good. The fact that the way they kept injecting the modern politics into it, for me, ruined it.
Yeah, but John Malkovich, he's one of the greatest actors out there, but he's not Hercule Poirot, please. This is wrong casting. Even I haven't seen it, but here, what was the name of the original Hercule Poirot? Here, the actor. I have even a book from him here. Greg, you are my dictionary, my lexicon. Who was Hercule Poirot? Who played him in the original?
I'm not sure.
He's this fat actor, not fat, but body positive, or what you call it.
Well, Courtney's in the chat. Hi, Courtney.
Where's Brent when you need him?
Yeah, I know.
Is it Albert Finney?
No, it's not Albert Finney. It is.
Oh my God, Nerd's in the chat. He says it's David Pinochet. He's probably been lurking there this whole time. Is it David Pinochet? Is that the answer?
No, it is Albert Finney. Oh my God.
But Nerd says it is, so you're wrong.
Yes, no.
And you haven't discovered your error, so you're wrong again. Nomad would sterilize.
I
sterilize.
I Googled it.
Yeah, but I confused.
That's what Brent does. She can be our Brent. What is it, Kat?
It says it's Albert Finney,
Yeah, she's right.
1974.
Yes, she's right, because I confused.
Good job.
I confused him with the other Hercule Poirot actor in Death on the Nile.
Once again, you've made another error. You're flawed and imperfect.
No, we are talking. No, that's not my fault. We are talking also about Death on the Nile, and in Death on the Nile, it was not Albert Finney. I'm pretty sure.
That sounds like an excuse.
No, we don't have excuses here in Germany. We get shot when we make a mistake.
Exactly.
It's not so
my
easy.
point.
Yeah, it's not so.
Luckily,
easy.
You're out of gun range from Texas.
The thing is, when I think about Hercule Poirot, I think about Peter Ustinov. Because he played him most times, I think.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
I put
him.
Yeah, I put Ustinov in Murder on the Orient Express, even if it was Albert Finney in my mind, because he played so often here Hercule Poirot. I just put him in there because he was a great Poirot. Peter Ustinov was such a great Poirot, and Albert Finney, of course, yeah, he also. The thing is, Kenneth Branagh is neither. He hasn't the presence of Peter Ustinov, which I constantly are thinking of when I think about Poirot. But he also couldn't bring this interesting version of Poirot here from Finney, which was great, for sure. Because as I said, for me, Murder on the Orient Express is a perfect movie. So you can be sure I have no complaints with having another Poirot than Ustinov. So Albert Finney had to be great in that. And but as I said, Kenneth Branagh, he needed this scene at the beginning as showing off, kind of. Just. But the thing is, if you make something like that to show the audience, oh, look, I'm the greatest detective, and here you see me at work. But he didn't do anything great in this scene at the beginning. It was kind of here, Greg. Can you remember these beginning scenes from the new version? What was the great thing he does in this scene? Did he do something where you say, "Oh my God, this is the greatest detective ever," or something like that? Nothing like that. He solved the case, and it didn't make even any sense how he solved it. By the way, he just said things.
It was so unmemorable. I don't even remember what it was, but yeah,
That's what
he
I'm
saw
saying.
it was something so simple.
Yeah. So there is. Yeah, hi Jess. Hi
Jez is here. Woohoo!
Yeah. So that's my problem right from the start. So now I have to deal with a Poirot which I don't respect, and so I don't care for him, and which I even find a little bit annoying. So and if you start directly, if you mess up your first scenes in a movie where you establish the people, the main characters, that's not a good thing. Because he couldn't recover from that in the whole movie. The whole time he comes off more like a smart ass than like really a thoughtful person. Or somebody who like or Peter Falk here, like in Columbo or something like that. No, nothing like that. He is just I don't know. And also the other cast here, the casting was not a big fan, especially not from Ray here from Star Wars, who was also in there. Can you remember, Greg?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the great casting choices, and that's
girl.
also, yeah, and that's also a thing in the new trailer. Talking now about Murder on the Nile, Death on the Nile. casting choices, people I can't stand. Wonder Woman 84 is in that. So, and I can't stand her. I think she is a bad actress. I don't think that she can sell as
Oh,
and-
she is in it. Gal Gadot.
yeah, Gal Gadot. And sorry, she, for me, my main criticism with her is really her bad acting. She is not a good actress. She's a model or something like that, and that's why she got the Wonder Woman gig. But I've seen her also in other movies, but you can barely remember her. Here in Fast and Furious 6, 5 and 6 even, I think
She was good in the first Wonder Woman. She was bad in anything else I can think of.
Yeah, good. I couldn't stand the movie for his plot. So yeah, and it was really not. Her part was not that challenging. So and in the second one, which was complete catastrophe. But she was also in some other movies after that where she wasn't that great. So
Yeah, I can't think of them, but yeah, she wasn't memorable in anything else. I did like her in the first Wonder Woman, though. So to be fair, there's one movie, but she's been in a lot of stuff, so that's not saying much.
I tell you, besides Wonder Woman, she wouldn't have a career. That's for sure.
That's what I think too. I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
because that's the only movie I can think of her ever being in that I've seen. If I've seen anything else with her in it, I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't think that people buy a ticket when they see,
true.
Gal Gadot is in this movie. I have to hurry buy a ticket for that. I don't think that. She can't sell a movie on her own. So yeah. So as I said, so in Murder on the Orient Express, and then the ending and everything, and this is the thing I'm expecting from Death on the Nile, because if it would be from another director, or if it would be with another main actor, then I would have maybe a little bit hope. But I have seen now some movies where Kenneth Branagh is the director and also the main actor, and for me they all suck. All besides the only thing where he is good with directing and acting at the same time are the Shakespeare adaptations from him. But this is Shakespeare, and I'm not this big of a Shakespeare expert, so I don't know if these are good or if these are bad. For me, they are okay. But I would never consider me as the big Shakespeare expert. I liked Henry V. I liked here Richard.
Richard III.
No, the third, that was another one. The third was great adaptation, but not from Kenneth Branagh. I think Richard II or one even.
The Richard III set in the 30s England was really a great movie.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah, that was with Magneto. He played.
Yeah. I really like that. And of course, Henry V is to war what Romeo and Juliet is to romance.
Yeah, and Henry V, I like that. This is also, but even in that, Kenneth Branagh is really everywhere. He's directing, playing the main character, but it's Shakespeare. I can't really say if that's the vision of Shakespeare himself or not. I'm not too good of an expert in that. Can't say anything about that. But so with the normal movies, really, and also we don't have to forget Kenneth Branagh. He's the guy who directed Thor, the first one.
Indeed.
Yeah, and the first Thor was not great. It was not even great shot. It of course it was great compared to the others, but that doesn't say much. When we talk about the MCU or the MCU, it doesn't say much. But He also he had a flop here last year. He had a huge flop here with this kid detective guy here. This Walt Disney thing with his French name. Greg, can you remember that?
Negative. Maybe Kat can. She's got Google.
Okay.
What was it?
I'm looking it up. Here, this Branagh movie from last year was a horrible disaster. Which he had a French name. Artemis Fool. Artemis Fool. It was one of the biggest flops ever, or something like that. It's from Disney. And
that went right under my radar. I don't even think I was aware it was out.
Yeah, I watched it, and it was a catastrophe. It was so bad. Everything you hate in a movie. It has a horrible story. It has bad acting. It was horrible cast. The effects were oh my god! I couldn't.
What was it called again?
Artemis Fowl. That's it. Yeah, I remember
Artemis
it now. I didn't see it, but I did hear it was a disaster.
Yeah, nobody did. Just only the critics to rant on it. They were the only ones who watched it.
I remember seeing the trailer for this, but I didn't get to see it at all.
Well, Nerd figured it out. Thanks, Nerd.
Oh my god. I think he's not the director on Death on the Nile. That's it.
They spent $125 million to make that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just burning money. But who is the director on the new one? I thought I was expecting now we had the same team like last time. But is he even playing Hercule Poirot in this one? In the Death on the Nile?
Yes, Bruno.
So yes, but he is, and he's also directing. So it's exactly and producing. Oh my god!
God.
Yeah. Oh my god! Gal Gadot is even the main actress in there.
Yeah.
She can't sell a movie. Sorry. No. If that's not Wonder Woman, and also if that's not Wonder Woman 1 or something like that, I don't see a. Oh my god, no. Yeah, but yeah. Okay. Oh, it's even Ridley Scott is also producing. No. Yeah, not really looking forward to it. The old Death on the Nile was interesting. It was not. You could figure out who is the murder in Death on the Nile. It was not that hard to figure that out, but still, it was a good movie, the old one. There was yeah, Kat?
I think that I'll check the old movie out before I even watch the new one when it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So, Murder on the Orient Express, Death on the Nile, these were the kind of the good ones, and then there was Murder Under the Sun, which was okay. It's not bad or awful, but you can everyone, you can more easy figure out who the murder is. But still, these three you can watch. They're entertaining, and I highly recommend them. Compared to all the crap from nowadays, they are Citizen Kane, all three of them. That's for sure.
I much prefer the older stuff to the new, almost 9 times out of 10.
Yeah,
I would
so do
say
I.
11 times out of 10. I prefer.
Well, the acting's superior, the writing's superior, and even though you don't have as much beloved CGI, if you do have like a monster movie, a lot of time it's a practical effect, and those can be better than the CGI. Like my brother did that thing about Jack Frost from '97. I'd completely forgotten about that movie. The one I remembered was that terrible Michael Keaton one from the following year of the
that
same
was
name.
awful.
And I went back and for Christmas I watched Jack Frost and I watched Jez's Black Christmas movie. So those were my 2 Christmas movies yesterday.
Yeah, but I watched Black Christmas also. It was really good.
Yeah,
I didn't remember it, so that was great.
I had never seen it before.
If I saw it, I completely forgot it.
Yeah, I talked about it in my Halloween review because it was the first movie kind of that showed the killer perspective here, point of view.
I remember what you said about it, and I'd planned to watch it, but I didn't get to it before Jez put it on, so I just watched it there. I was saving it for Christmas.
Yeah, it's very well done. I really like Black Christmas. It's kind of, from my view, it's kind of an underrated classic.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because when you compare it to all these slashers and so on from this time, from the 70s, it really stands out. It's much more entertaining. It's well shot. It has a very good story.
It's got great character development too. That's a critical thing that you don't see in. Otherwise, it's just you see these people, you barely know them, and they're killed. Usually because they're having sex or drugs or whatever, and that's fine. That becomes the trope or whatever. But if you have time to develop the characters, which nowadays I don't think people have any attention span or any patience for character development.
Yeah, but they should get killed when they have sex.
Yes,
here in
of
Germany,
course.
Here in Germany, we never have sex. We just yell at each other till the woman gives the child. Where's the child? Where's the child?
Hey, whatever works for y'all. But if you combine sex and drugs and they're laughing, then those people have to die.
Yeah. Really, these are all these things. We don't have that here in Germany. You know that.
Well, it has Margot Kidder in it too. I mean,
it did. That's right, Margot Kidder. I couldn't believe she was in it.
Yeah,
she
Louis
was
Lane
so
herself.
Yeah, she really was.
Yeah, before she became the reporter at the Daily Bugle.
Exactly.
Daily Planet, not Bugle.
She didn't have that crazy look in her eyes she got later. I think she did go crazy, didn't she?
Yeah. She had a mental breakdown.
But you could kind of see it in her acting there before that happened.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. So I skipped this year Christmas movie. Normally, it's tradition for me to watch. My Christmas movie is Nightmare Before Christmas, but the last 2 years I skipped it because I'm not in the mood because of everything what is happening right now, and I just can't sit there and enjoy it when I know that. The world is so much. There's so terrible things out there right now. It's a kind of a children's movie, but especially the children are suffering beyond belief since last year. Yeah. So it just doesn't feel right to watch a children's movie. Kind of when you know that you feel like. get constantly reminded of. At least this is in my case, the case. I can't speak for other people. So I hope next year I going to start this tradition again. Watch Nightmare Before Christmas on Christmas, or on the day before Christmas.
That's a great movie. I love it. It's just wonderful, and I did the same thing. Usually every Christmas I watch A Christmas Story, but yesterday I just wasn't in the mood for it. I didn't feel it. It was like, so I went for the Christmas slashers because I hadn't seen most of those anyway, and that ended up a good experience. So yeah, hopefully maybe next year I can watch A Christmas Story again, but I enjoyed the Christmas slashers this year.
Well, that's kind of what I did. I always watch A Christmas Story or something heartwarming, but this year I went the other direction. The Black Christmas and Jack Frost. It was like, give me the bad Santa Christmas.
Yeah, they're kind of more fitting in these days, I think.
More appropriate to the times we're alive in. But that doesn't mean I don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, Kathy got me, a beautiful dinosaur lamp and, a stuffed T-Rex and some tanks. I'm going to find a way to make those into a video.
Hey,
it was a lot of fun.
Here, Greg, is this rumor true? I've heard that in Texas, everybody gets a Christmas present from Santa because he doesn't want to mess with Texans.
Well,
is that true?
Santa has a slight problem when he's flying over Texas of, taking some bullet holes in the sleigh. But other than that,
Santa brought me a machete last night for Christmas.
Yeah,
I was happy.
I think these are the first presents that he gives because he doesn't want to forget anybody in Texas. Yeah. So
I think the next thing on the list ought to be The Matrix, since Kat's actually seen this. She watched it with Jez the other day, and we still have Boss Level, which I think is a good movie. It's on Hulu, so anybody who hasn't seen it and has Hulu, they can watch that. And I think even Cub enjoyed Boss Level. So
yes. We come to that. I thought you want to continue with Dexter, but okay. You say you want to.
You want to go back to Dexter? I don't think she's seen that.
No,
I was going to go back to it, but that's on another page. So we'll just keep going with Matrix 4.
Okay, because both are rents anyway, so I don't care which one we go. So so we have all seen the new Matrix. Lost 2.5 hours of our life, which we will never ever get back.
Oh my God, it was so boring.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep, and I don't usually do that. It's just so boring.
Yeah.
Well, it helped you get some good rest, though.
Yeah, and I guess
it did. The company was good, but it was just like.
But I guess we have all seen also the other Matrixes 1, 2, 3.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I don't know about Kat. Have you seen them?
Yes, I have.
Okay,
yeah, cool. So we are all on the same level. That's very good. Matrix 4. First off, it is a catastrophe of a clusterfuck. This movie is probably the worst of the year, the worst of the last 5 years. I would even say maybe even the last 10 years. It is a waste.
Oh, Last Jedi was worse, but
but if I have to rewatch one of them, it would be a hard choice because, as you said, Last Jedi at least is hilarious. Has hilarious scenes in it.
It does.
Flying Leia and so on. But so it's kind of it's entertaining in a bad way. But in Matrix you don't have anything. There is There's nothing that sticks out. There is not an exciting scene in it. The story is boring. The first half is just making fun of the Matrix, of the original one, and also showing the original Matrix in scenes directly.
Very recycled. Very
Yeah.
recycled.
Well, for me, the way they set it up, where he's supposed to be doing a video game remake, and so it's basically meta or whatever you want to call it, being self-aware or basically mocking the audience of the original Matrix. It completely took me out of the movie. I mean, basically, the way I saw it, these people are sitting around when they're talking about what they want to do for the video game. That's them, the writers of the Matrix movie. They're sitting around there going, oh, this would be perfect in the movie. We'll be sitting there talking about how the Matrix, you lean back and this is famous and that's famous. It completely destroys the movie. And The Matrix was such a groundbreaking movie in special effects, in the story itself, the fact that we're all, in something that's not real. And there are people who believe this to this day. They're completely convinced. And who knows? They could be right. I don't think they are. But to mock the very concept of it in your sequel movie is beyond atrociously bad. It completely destroyed the cinematic experience for me. And
Yes, and I think the worst thing that you can do ever in a movie is bringing up the production company. You don't make a movie like it's Warner Brothers and then say in the movie Warner Brothers wants a part 4. You don't do that.
Well,
Not
that's what I'm talking about. When they do that, it ruins the. This is just that it's very clearly that this is just a movie, and it's us talking about how we're going to make this movie.
Yeah, you don't do that even in a comedy. Because even in a comedy, you don't say, oh, this is a comedy from Warner Brothers. Because that also, here, if you can remember here with their animated, partially real life stuff here, Looney Tunes, they also drove that into the ground with the last one.
The action scenes were so bad. Just for example, when the very first beginning of the deal, and they're running down that hallway, and she's pushing the agent Smith in front of her, and they're firing their guns. There's no way they don't hit him, except they don't hit him because the plot says that they don't. Now, in the earlier Matrix movies,
No, Greg, machines are also just human. So they don't hit him, of course. Because these are supposed to be machines who make
one was the only one we needed.
Who are just human. And by the way, hi Memes, nice you are here. And
he's right. The first one was all that was needed. Yeah, but at least you had some good action scenes in the second one, in the battle on the freeway, and even the third one sucked, but it had some decent action. This one had no good action scenes. And there's another thing that I'd like to make a comparison on in this movie. If you go back, we were talking about the Star Wars. Well, in the sequel trilogy, you had Finn, and he was a stormtrooper, and so it would have been interesting to see, like, from the stormtrooper point of view, but they didn't really show that. They immediately had him jump over to the good guys. And in this case, they did the same thing. Agent Smith immediately jumps over to the good guys. It might have been interesting in both cases if we'd explored what it was like from the other side and then had that person jump away. See what the life of a stormtrooper was like instead of just this cardboard cutout. Okay, what's it really like? These are real people, and when they take off their helmets, they actually have exchanges. They care about each other. That would have been something interesting, but of course we couldn't have that because they have to, be the bad guys, and he has to instantly leave. In the same way here, we didn't really get to see any kind of character development or what he was like as an agent. No, it's just instantly changed to this other, and then they immediately go to talking about how this is just a movie. You're an idiot if enjoyed it. Basically, they're saying if you enjoyed the first ones, you're an idiot. And I found that offensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also, Agent, let's talk about the casting choices. For me, this thing was over after 5 minutes because replacement Lawrence Fishburne, he just sucks, and I got now who he is. He is also the guy who's replacement Dr. Manhattan. He is the guy from the TV series here, Watchmen TV series, Black Dr. Manhattan, painted blue, of course. And he's also the new Candyman. So I already extensively rented on this guy. And then I had to sit through another movie where he destroys an established character. And I thought, oh my God, he's haunting me. Really. And he is so bad. And also, you got again these scenes where he runs around naked. It looks like that there's only reason why they cast him, because you had that in Watchmen where he was painted blue and running around naked, and you had that here also when they had this system that projects programs into reality. Then they are for some reason naked, even if they are not naked as a program. They are not programmed that way.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They do everything wrong.
Yeah, really.
And
it's boring. It's so boring. They go through
Yes, it
45-minute stretches of just endless exposition and spouting nonsense.
Yeah. Kat, what do you think?
yeah, it bored me. I don't usually go to sleep in a movie if it's got my interest in it. It just, from minute one, I was just like, okay, where's this movie going? And like you guys are saying, they're just making fun of the first ones. And I'm like, what is this? And then all the recycled stuff from the past movies. And the way this movie was shot compared to like the original Matrix or 2 or 3, there wasn't much action like there was in those. And you had really good, even if it was CGI, you had really good effects in that.
It looked flat. It looked flat like a TV movie.
Yes, it did. And it was like, well, this is just like a watercolor painting compared to I can just sit over here and paint something with oil and it's going to look way more three-dimensional and way better. This, pardon my French, looks like shit. It looked terrible.
And
I was not impressed at all.
And also, there were some woke elements in it, which I didn't mind so much because the whole movie was so bad that it really didn't matter anymore. At the end, Neo was, of course, he was not the chosen one anymore, and it looked like that the woman, what's her name, Trinity, that she kind of was the chosen one because she could fly and he couldn't fly anymore or something like that. Greg, did you get that?
That's what I got.
Yeah, it didn't really make sense.
None of it made sense.
And also that the robots built them again from the ground for some reason didn't make any sense. That they because they died at the third one at the end, and they got rebuilt. But so I have a question. If it's so easy to rebuild them, why the hell they didn't just kill them when they get a threat and rebuild them again, or rebuild thousands of them, like because they use them as batteries anyway. So where is the problem? Why was there even a story? Why could they even blackmail here the bad guy by saying because they could just rebuild them again or not?
You're asking for logic from this movie?
Yeah, it's really also why did it play 60 years after the last one? I didn't understand that. What the hell was the reason for that? Why 60 years? Why not the real time that went by 17 years or whatever? I don't know. I have no. So they could put these horrible actress here, Jada Pinkett Smith, in old age or what? She was terrible, by the way. And also, let's talk about the replacement for Agent Smith. And
he
also,
acted nothing like Agent Smith is what bothers me. Why give him the same name? Why not just give him a new agent's name?
Yeah. Why don't call him Agent whatsoever? Because
Jones
he
or
was
whatever.
Clearly not. Yeah, he was clearly not Agent Smith, and they made it harder for themselves instead of saying, okay, Agent Smith is gone. We have no Agent John or Agent whatsoever. Let's go with that. And also the bad guy here, the shrink psychiatrist. Why getting this guy here from How I Met Your Mother? Isn't he a comedian?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Supposed to be.
I couldn't take him serious for 1 second.
No.
He's not a bad actor. He was not acting bad, but I couldn't get it out. For me,
Yeah, you've seen him in the other show too much, and he's always, cracking jokes, and I couldn't take him serious either. Plus, as a psychiatrist or whatever, he just doesn't seem to have the gravitas to pull that off.
yes, and also what he tried it both ways. He wanted to pretend to be this psychiatrist, this shrink who knows everything. So a brain guy, kind of like the brain, but he also played the muscles. When he went on with the action and so on, and I thought, what's that? What is that? Because can you remember we had these characters here, like here in part 2. Here, this older guy, the constructor, or what was his name? In this room with the televisions, where Neo had to make the choice to save Trinity or to go the other road, or take the other door. Can you remember the scene? The architect, yeah.
Yeah.
And the architect was an old guy, and you wouldn't expect from him to have any action or something like that. But you, in your mind, you saw somebody who probably has much knowledge about the things that are going on, and you bought that. For me, this made sense. But this shrink guy, he is supposed to be, has the knowledge from the architect, of course, and but also has these parts where he's really active and grabs Neo and things like that, and puts a gun out and shoots, tries to shoot them and things like that. This doesn't go hand in hand for me. He can't sell that at all. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, the whole thing was just boring.
Okay, so we all hated it basically, and I guess we should move on, unless somebody has something else they want to say.
No, Matrix. This franchise is done, and yeah, they don't say how much they spent on this one, and there are rumors 100 million, 150 million, whatsoever. For me, this looks like $50, and
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah, Really?
Okay, we'll jump back to Dexter. His sister is back. She's dead, and I don't know. I guess she's not a ghost. She's more like what would you call it, a muse or something. His son has been added to the show, and his
Yeah.
girlfriend is the sheriff.
Yeah.
The Dexter New Blood we're discussing.
Yeah. I've seen the first 7 episodes.
So you didn't see? I've seen the first 3.5.
Yeah, and there are 10 episodes, I think. So 3 to go or something like that. And I've seen the first 7, and I can tell you, I just watched them for the show. I'm a huge Dexter fan. I've seen the whole series, but it went completely off the rails in the last seasons, seasons 7 and 8. I
See, I
hate
only
it.
watched the first 6 seasons because I heard that. I think it was you who told me not to watch season 7 and 8, so I didn't. And then you told me to watch this new one, so now I'm watching it. So it's very confusing.
Yeah, in season 8, his sister dies. So she is just in his memory, and I can tell you why she is even there. Because can we agree on that she is probably the worst part of this new season? Because she annoys the hell out of me every time she comes on screen. Because she
Well,
doesn't.
that's how they've written her. She's
Yeah,
just a nags him.
yeah, but the thing is, we have. I'm not against this idea to that characters in the mind of Dexter appear, because we had that already with the character of his stepfather back then, where he follows the rules from him the whole
Yes,
time.
that's true. That's what they're trying to do, is a similar thing to his stepfather.
But his stepfather didn't make any shenanigans. He was there, and he never took any action or something like that. He was really, you could, they could sell it, you bought it, that he was really just a thought, because he took a back seat. He didn't put himself, he wasn't the way written that for example, in the new season, his annoying sister, she sometimes even tries to kill him and things like that. It makes some nonsense, and then it's like a dream or whatever, I don't know, and constantly is yelling and oh my god, it's just, she's playing like an actress here on a theater stage, like she is still alive and is an important part of the show, which she isn't. She's dead. She's just a thought, and they put her in every episode. It's annoying.
You know, when I first saw her, I thought he would be living out there, not interacting with the town, that he was going to be in the house by himself. And so they had included her so that he would at least have some kind of human contact. But then the fact that he's got the sheriff as a girlfriend, and he got a job in town, and he's got all these interactions, she's really not necessary. And she does grow to be quite irritating.
Yeah, and also, wouldn't it make more sense that he thinks about his stepfather than about his stepsister?
Or they would mix it up.
Yeah, they would mix it up, something like that, maybe. But his sister, I have seen the whole series. She is neither that smart, nor neither is
I don't mind the actress; it's the writing. They're writing her really poorly.
I mean the person. If you have a problem, and you think about somebody who could help you, maybe with a real life problem, and you think about a friend or somebody you know from back then, or maybe about your dead father, in my case, you would think about somebody who could actually give you a good advice, somebody who has proven himself with life experience or whatever, or is somebody who can help you. But she's just a stepsister. Her character. I'm not reading. I'm not talking about the person, not the actress. I'm talking about the character. The character was never somebody where you go to get an advice for life or something like that, or who acted.
But she also
smarter.
was not this how she's written now. She wasn't constantly berating him and tearing him down. So this
also,
is a different. This is out of character for the character she was previously.
it's even out of character, and she doesn't help him at all with her advice.
Right.
She's just there. I told you so. I told you so. Blah, blah, blah. And then she makes some stupid stuff. And I tell you why she's even in there. What people don't know is Dexter here, the actor from Dexter. Here's what's his name? And this actress, they were a couple during Dexter, brother and sister. Yeah, they were a couple in real life, and
he demanded that she be in it.
He demanded, or she demanded. I don't know. Maybe they are married, or they're still together, or I have. But this makes for me much more sense because she's a tacked on character, or don't you? Typical tacked on character that doesn't have to be there. And so that's probably the reason why she's even in there, is because of that. So that's not a good sign. And I knew it directly from the start when I saw the second episode and she was still there, because I thought she's just in the first episode, and I thought, oh my God, thanks God this is over. We got rid of her. Hope he never thinks of her again. And let's go on. Let's move on. And then she's back again in every episode. I think, oh my God, no. It's so annoying. Yeah. And his son is also there, which I don't mind. He's okay. His part, he's not annoying at all.
Well, I've just got to the part where he apparently stabs the other guy to death at school, and Dexter is wondering whether he set that up. Whether he lied about the whole thing just so he could commit his first murder.
Yes,
I have a question about this.
Yeah.
This Dexter New Blood, is this like a new thing of like the old Dexter series, like the serial killer guy?
Yeah,
because my sister used to watch it.
Yeah, it's a continuation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 10 years later.
Yeah, it's 10 years later. Like the old series is I think was from 2007 or 6 or something like that, and it had 8 seasons. And yeah, this is 10 years later. So his son, of course, turns out to be also a serial killer, and has kind of the same problems he had as a child, but he had his stepfather as a mentor, and now Dexter kind of plays the mentor part, but he doesn't, this is a kind of odd choice also, which I didn't understand, because he isn't even now in episode 7. He's still not at the point telling his son that he is exactly the same. His son still thinks that he's crazy, because he has this urges to harm people and so on.
And Cub knows that this is quite normal.
Yeah, here in Germany. Yeah, they just moved to Germany. This is here the normal thing. So we here in Germany they don't understand where's the problem. When we watch that, this normal behavior.
And that's why he's so irritated by his sister, because that's nothing like the people that Cub talks to, his figments.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows how these actually go.
Yeah, but the thing is, I have the feeling that the whole season is just padding, because it really doesn't make any sense that when he figures out that his son is kind of exactly like him, that he not immediately just says to him, okay, I had my stepfather as a mentor, and I'm now going to help you, show you the way, give him the codex, things like that. And yeah, which would be interesting. But they didn't go with that.
We'll have to watch the end of the series and then come back and revisit this in the next show. What do you think?
So I have to watch the last three.
You made me watch it.
Hey, you have no proof for that.
Okay, so we should probably move on to the next thing. It's Midnight Mass, and Cat Claw has actually watched some of this.
I watched maybe 35 minutes of the first episode, and oh my god, I had it. I'm getting this vibe off of it. Like there's something really off here. There's something really dark going on. These people are putting on smiles or putting on fake masks and wearing them around. I'm just getting all these vibes. There's something in that trunk, and the thing that got me, those poor kitties. Those poor kitty cats.
Right?
Yeah. So, for the people who are listening, Midnight Mass is seven part TV series
On Netflix.
On Netflix. Is a one season thing. I think there is not a season 2 also. It's not really a TV series. It's just a 7-parter. I think, because it ends. It has a real ending, and all the episodes are called like chapters in a Bible. They have all.
Oh, that's true. And it comes to a cataclysmic ending.
Yeah, it is kind of. It has a religious theme, which is the main theme of the series. What would you say, Greg? It's really like reading chapters in the Bible or something like that.
Yes, it really is. It does have a religious theme, and I thought at times the religious music they used was a little overwhelming. I had to actually mute it from time to time, but it's not the kind of series I would normally watch for those reasons. But at the same time, this has a real twist. Are we going to do spoilers on this? I think we almost have to.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to spoil it completely, just because this is not a regular series. Nobody is going to watch it anyway.
That's true. No one.
It's from the guy, by the way, who also made Doctor Sleep and Hunting Hill House, or Hunting on Hill House, or this TV series. It's the same guy. And I'm not a fan of Doctor Sleep. I hate it, in fact. But Hunting on Hill House, but it was decent. But this one is good. It's it's a good series. I think
It's
we
well
can.
written and it's surprising. The main premise is they send their Monsignor. It's a Catholic church on a very small isolated island with a low population, fishermen and whatnot, and they send their priest off to the Holy Land, and he's like 80 years old or something, and while he's there, he gets in a sandstorm and wanders off into a cave, and in that cave, he's attacked. And it turns out to be what we later find out is a vampire. The
Yeah,
vampire bites
it's a-
him, and go ahead, Gov.
it's a simple vampire story. It's kind of me personally. It reminded me on Salem's Lot, because also the vampire is more like Nosferatu, less like Christopher Lee. He's more like Nosferatu. It's this kind of and
Almost like an animal.
yes, and the priest confuses the vampire for an angel, but I say confuses, but it's never clear. It is never cleared because we never get where this creature comes from. It's just there. We say it's a vampire because we have seen vampire movies, but it has
And it
wings.
has bat wings, unlike any vampire I've ever seen before. Like you say, this could be a different type of creature, but it does basically many of the things that we associate with vampire.
Yes,
And what the creature does is the creature and the priest. He comes back to the island, and they that's what's in the trunk. Cat is this bat vampire thing, and that's what goes over and kills the cats on the island, and that's what goes around killing people here and there. You've got this crazy assistant, this woman who's helps the priest, and she's like this ultra religious. You're really a hard to believe character,
she's a nut.
right? She's a nut,
you
and
got
like no one I've ever seen.
you
And
got
and you have the altar boys there, who and really it's the only time you ever see altar boys at just being normal people. And in the Lutheran church, you'd call those acolytes, and I actually was an acolyte when I was that age. So for me, it was a little bit of a callback to another time and place. But I never saw anyone like the people, in that church. They were crazy.
yeah,
And even before,
I
even
want to-
It
before,
had like a cult feel to me what I was seeing of it.
yeah, it was almost
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a cult rather than
yes,
a church.
and I want to mention we get two bad guys from my point of view. That's just my interpretation, because we have the priest that confuses Nosferatu for an angel, and because he got young, but he also got thirsty. He had a bloodthirst, but he takes it for his religions. Maybe I don't know, or because he was in the Holy Land. I have no clue, but for him, it's okay because it makes sense in the consents of the Bible.
When
He said-
also he had his own personal greedy motivation of saving his lifelong love. He was seeing her deteriorate and go with dementia, and he says at the very end of the series when he's sitting down with her how it was all a mistake, but he did it for her. And, yes, he believed that it was an angel, but he really went overboard. He took the vampire's blood and he mixed it with the sacred wine. So when they were taking communion, they were being turned into vampires.
Yeah, and now we have come to a part where this is my biggest criticism on religion in general, because it is really I have read the Bible, by the way, and you can take from the Bible, of course, these parts that he uses most just from the Old Testament. He doesn't use anything from the New Testament, because
No.
it's just more convenient for him this way to use the Old Testament. And so he puts the parts so together that it makes sense for him. But and somebody else could also have this experience, who is also religious, and then recognize parts in the Bible that exactly warn from that, which say that this is not he's not a savior. He looks like an angel. He's not a savior. He's going to bring you death or something like that, and this is more a satanic ritual, which it was.
That's the feel I had from it from the get go. It's like maybe this is a cult, a satanic cult or something here.
Yes, and
Yeah.
so, but the thing is, we have this priest who is, from my point of view, is the bad guy who doesn't feel that he's the bad guy. He's really more the bad guy, but imagines in his mind that he does something good. But then you have the other bad guy, the woman, which I think she is just mean, because she does horrible things and also fills in some holes even from the other one. She's this type of order, not just order follower, but making more than you asked for. She reminds me of these people here who are now when they have stores and things like that, and the government says you can't let people in your store without a mask or without a test, and they go even further and say, yeah, and we don't even let them in without being vaccinated. Even the government doesn't.
She's thriving on the extra power.
Yeah, because the government doesn't demand that here from the stores. It just demands testing. It doesn't demand that you urgently have to be vaccinated, not in the normal stores. But they can decide themselves, and most of them decide to go the extra mile. So she reminded me heavily on that. And I don't think that she or the people here who go this extra mile are good persons or are just misled or something like that. I think they are the kind of order followers who we had already 80 years ago when we had the Third Reich, and who are the real problem in a society. At least that's how my interpretation. Greg.
Yeah, she was the big villain of the piece.
Yes, she clearly knew,
more so even than the vampire.
Yeah, she clearly knew that this is all bad what they are doing. I don't think that she was, because most of her actions we saw even before this vampire thing started. She clearly killed the dog from this guy with rat poison, if you can remember.
Yeah, I do remember.
And
I knew she was going to do that too.
Yeah, and she was even proud about it. She even said it to the policeman, who was a Muslim, by the way. And this is my only criticism I have with this series. The portray of the Muslims. I'm an atheist, but I know how, because I have a Islamic background, and this was not the typical behavior of Muslims. When you have a father and a son, because you will laugh, I have my best friend is a Muslim and he has a son who is also a Muslim. So I know from first hand how they would behave, even without partializing or what you say. But it's not like it was portrayed there, really. But this is we'll come to that maybe later. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I thought that rang as false. The way the son actually betrayed his father, and their religion, just
I can
out of nowhere,
yeah, and I can tell you something what people don't get when it comes to Muslims or Islamic behavior. A son would never ever betray his father. He puts his father even over the religion. That's how I know that, and I know.
No, and he betrayed both the religion and his father.
Yes. So it was
out of nowhere. I mean, he at one minute he's just slightly interested in it, and then the next thing he's willing to actually drink poison and die while betraying his father. So he's willing to die for these crazy people that he barely knows. That rang false.
Yes, really. That is my only complaint because, in general, I like the portray of the Muslims themselves as normal people.
I think it and they needed them to be Muslim. That way, they wouldn't have taken the communion, and he would be free of the werewolf blood. I'm sorry, vampire blood. And so that was a neat idea to have a Muslim, but they didn't act like Muslims. What the father did, but the son didn't. And there's something else we didn't talk about. The main character, at least through most of it, is the guy who had the what was his name? Who had the DWI and killed somebody?
Yeah, the accident where somebody died.
Right, and he comes back to the island, and he's having discussions with the priest, right? And he's talking about all the different religions he's turned to, and he's investigated Buddhism and Islam and read the Quran and all this other stuff. But then he comes back and he says, "Why doesn't God keep me from having the accident? Why doesn't God stop the oil spill? Why doesn't God do this? And why doesn't he do that?" Well, there's a simple answer for that. And if you've investigated all these religions and you don't know that answer, it's really hard to believe it because it's free will. Do you want a God that controls your actions so that you can't?
Most religions say, when you want to put them in one sentence, they say, help yourself and then you get help from God. That's what most religions say.
God doesn't want slaves. It's not about, would you want a God who controlled all your actions so that you couldn't, that's not, that's, you want somebody to control your actions? That's ridiculous. That's writing by people who don't understand religion. So
so it was good meant. I think they had the heart and the right place, but they weren't able to pull it off because they didn't have the background knowledge whatsoever.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they don't have the background of any kind of religious upbringing or thought, and they're so lazy they can't open a book. I mean, it's really easy to figure that out.
Now we have these similarities with his other work, Dr. Sleep, which had also these supernatural parts and kind of religious parts. So lazy. In Dr. Sleep, they were so lazy.
But you're right. They were good-hearted. They were trying to write a good story, but they were lacking in some of the fundamental things that almost anybody in the world who has any religion, even you, not religious, but you can understand religion. It's not that hard, but they're totally incapable of understanding it. All they see is these cult-like people and that woman and these other people and a priest who, you're going to have to be pretty freaking crazy to violate the sanctity of communion by putting an adulterated substance into people's wine. That is
Yes, and
beyond
also
evil.
and also doesn't make sense that the whole town, even after the first murders, after supernatural things happened and so on, still go with it. This is not Jonestown. There were not sect members from the get-go. These were supposed to be normal people or not.
Yeah, that would not happen.
Yeah.
There's
So
no, you don't understand religion if you think that their upbringing, everything would scream against that. Despite, miraculous things like a little girl walking, there are lines that you don't cross. And it would have instantly 90%, no more than 5 or 10%. You're always going to have some crazy people, but the majority of those people would have instantly acted against that as soon as they saw that.
Yes, and
And
also
it wouldn't matter about the order follower. They would knock her on the head. They would see her for what she was.
Yeah, and also there were families, there were children. It doesn't make even double this. It doesn't make any sense. So,
but
yeah.
I still would recommend the series. Despite all that, it was well done. I thought the acting in the series was better than the acting in any of the MCU deals, other than maybe The Mandalorian. But better than most of the MCU movies and TV shows. The acting in some of these little Netflix series you recommended, Squid Games, Inside Job, and Midnight Mass, was better than any of the. I'd rather watch any of those than an MCU movie.
Yeah, yes. This is complaining on really on a high level. Midnight Mass is a very good series or one shot or what you want to call it. It's very interesting. It has very much dialogue in it. It is not really a horror series because the horror elements, they are there and they are well done, but it is really not about that. It's really, I think that the director who made this series wanted to tell something about human behavior, about cult, how people can be blinded by wrong beliefs or something like that, and
he did a good job of it.
Yes. So really, this is really complaining on a very high level.
Yeah, well, we're going to complain. Yeah. That's what we do.
Yeah,
this is about something that we liked.
Yeah. So as we said, it's really it's a recommendation because at least even it is a interesting take on the vampire story.
Yeah, it really was. And you noticed how we complained less about the stuff that we liked.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we move on to the next thing?
Yes, we should.
Do you want to? I guess Boss Level. That's the movie that I picked. It's on Hulu. I enjoyed the movie, so this is one of my. I think people are going to like it if they watch it. I'm going to let Cub start talking about it, and I'm going to grab a beer. And what?
Greg, you mean the movie that is everything what Free Guy wanted to be and didn't achieve?
Yeah, I watched Free Guy too, and it was bad. The first part of Free Guy was interesting. The concept was interesting, but the execution once again was poor. The main actor was even it could even be called an actor. The other guys, I guess they should be starring in I don't know, videos made about workplace safety or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you don't get any safe workplaces anymore.
Yeah, right. Not if those people are in the videos. Okay, I'm going to let you talk about the movie, and I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay. Yeah, Kat, could you see it?
Boss Level. I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to watch it.
Okay, because that's interesting because I thought this is this it came from you, boss level.
No,
I thought it was your recommendation, and so
nope. It was Greg's.
yeah, it was Greg's. Yeah, so I can tell a little bit what boss level is about. It's kind of like a groundhound day for adults because it's very gory or very brutal. It's an R-rated, I think. It's somebody who dies constantly, like in Groundhog Day, but it has, but he didn't die like in the normal world. He dies more like in a video game.
Oh
So
wow.
so it is Groundhog Day with a video game perspective, and this is exactly what Free Guy is normally. But Free Guy sucks because Free Guy is more of a comedy and doesn't take itself so serious, and it is not well done. But this one is brutal from the get go because this guy really dies horrible deaths, and he really has to figure out what is going on and which he does, but it doesn't repeat everything so much like the other wannabe Groundhog Days, and goes in really in some directions you don't expect. It's really it surprises you from time to time, just in the right amount that it keeps you entertained.
Yeah.
So I would say it is the best Groundhog Day rip-off I've ever seen. It is really entertaining as hell. I don't
It
know if
sounds like interesting.
yeah, it's I don't know if it holds up a rewatch because I watched it just one time, and I really liked it. I have to see. Can you? But I can tell you that in a few years, if it holds up. But for the first viewing, it's really good. So, Greg, are you back? Hey,
Yes.
Earth to Houston. No, you want Apollo to Houston. Are you back?
I am back.
Yeah,
I could hear part of what you were saying.
Yeah, nice. So tell us everything about boss level, since it was your recommendation.
Well, basically, it's kind of a variation of the Groundhog Day movie, but with intense action. You've got like a, what would you call it, a special ops type guy or a Delta agent or whatever the special forces are called nowadays. And every day he wakes up with somebody trying to kill him. And he avoids that, and then there's a helicopter hanging out his window trying to kill him with a major machine gun. And there's also a whole slew, like almost John Wick, where John Wick has all these people trying to kill him at once, and that's what he goes through. He's got dwarves who stick bombs on his back and blow him up. He's got this Chinese girl who chops his head off with a sword. He has to actually find a sword master and get her to teach him how to handle a blade before he can get past that. So
which is like in a computer game.
Yes, kind of like in a computer game, like you were saying, how it's Free Guy, what Free Guy should have been, but Free Guy was poorly written compared to this. The writing was on a high level. Because sometimes he'll go through and something that he normally gets past, he overlooks it, or he makes a mistake, or he doesn't remember or just like we would do, just like any normal person would do. So it takes him like 200 attempts or whatever, and he finally figures out that his ex-wife is behind this, and she has caused him to be able to relive this time. And then he thought she was dead. He had been told she'd been killed the day before. He figures out she's still alive when he wakes up, but she's all the way across town, and he's got all these murders between him and her, and he's got to get over there and save her. And then at the very end of the movie, he actually manages to do that, and she's like, okay, I can reset this, and this time if you get killed, you die. But if you make it through, it's over. And that's the end of the movie where he wakes up. We don't actually get to see the final run through where he does it for real, but we see him going through, and so there's no guarantee he's going to actually survive.
Greg, you saw that. I didn't see that because there are two versions out there.
Really?
Yeah, and the German version, at least the one I saw, he just enters the machine and then the movie is over. So
you didn't
Greg?
see the final run through?
There's a final run through?
Well, you don't get to see it, but he does the last run through that she sets him up on after he saves her.
No, I have for me.
You never saw him save her?
I saw him save her, but when he saves her, he goes into the machine and the movie, and we don't know if he survives it because she said he probably isn't going to survive it because he has she doesn't know what happens when he goes into the machine.
Oh, right. And we don't see that either. You just see, I think you see him waking up and then it starts all over, but you don't actually get to see what happened.
Yeah, the thing is, I just know that because I have read that. I've read that there are two endings of this. And so I was wondering, which ending?
They don't show the final run through, but they do show that it's about to have, it's all starting up again. But this time he knows it's for real, but he's got to do it. And you see how you saw on the last run through and all the other ones, how very close to disaster he was.
I just see a run through that when he saves her. Yeah. But, he could also die and make it again. It's not the final. We don't really know already that this is the final.
Okay, well, on my version, she tells him, okay, I'm going to adjust this thing and this will be it. If you die this time, that's it. But if you make it through, it's over. You got through. It's not a new day every day.
No, that's a different ending. As I said, I don't know. I haven't heard.
Well, that's a better ending than the one you got. You see why I like the movie more?
No, I like the ending that we got because I thought it is a perfect ending. It's a poetic ending, because he sacrificed himself, and they don't know if it even works. But for him, it's clear that he has to do it anyway, to save her and to save his child. And he does it. And that's for me the perfect ending. He doesn't even know the outcome of it. He just goes into the machine. And but
it's not just his family. The whole world will be affected by this thing. It needs to be stopped.
Yeah, of course. But for him, he does it. Of course, he does it for his family. That's what I got out of it. There's no question that he is doing it anyway, which I liked, which I thought, and it made this guy even more sympathetic that he does that. So we can say that this is the movie. It is really worth a watch. I highly recommend it. At least the first time you see it, it's hell of entertaining, and it is really the opposite of Free Guy, because Free Guy I couldn't stand from the get-go. I thought it's another Groundhog Day clone, which did not add anything, because it was, at least this one is more realistic, kind of, thanks to the gore. It really looks that it hurts when he gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know there are many plot holes in that, also because yeah, really it doesn't make sense that they sent how many people did they send after him? 10 or something like that?
No, more
Why
than that, I think.
Yeah, but why should they send so many people? It doesn't make any sense. So the others are just waiting when the first one,
unless they
kills
knew
him?
that he might be able to regenerate, and they wanted to create, an impossible situation, even if he regenerated.
No, they had no clue. Every time when he arrives there, you could see that he talks to them. And
Right.
they
Well,
have,
they wouldn't know, but I
yeah,
mean, whoever is sending all those assassins, if they suspected that perhaps.
the guard is sending them. That is, it's already clear who is sending them. The guard
Well, I'm
here,
just telling you that that's the only way any of that makes sense.
the
That's the
bodyguard,
only way you would have that many assassins.
the head of security, the one who kills his wife, is also the guy who is sending all these people. That is,
Yes,
it's
that's right.
clarified.
And he
Yeah.
knows about the machine that can regenerate time.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that it's already working. He doesn't send so many people because of that. It doesn't make sense that he sends so many people.
Unless he's just a cautious person.
Because at the end, he even tells them. Because they figure out in the last ones, when
he
when
believes in
gets there.
overkill. It's a lot like you, Cub. You might send a dozen assassins.
No, I wouldn't send so many different assassins. I just would send one German assassin, or I would even go myself, and that's it.
Well, that's why you can't understand his motivation.
Yeah. They should have taken, as usual, a German bad guy. Then,
Like Hans Gruber.
yeah, they would finish the job without any problems.
It was fun and well written.
Yes, it's really, you can't watch it, nitpick it to death or something like that, because it's really, it is well enough made, and makes enough sense that you can enjoy it, that you really just can. This is one of these movies you just can enjoy from the start to end. There are not these glary plot holes in it that you say take you completely out of the movie or something like that.
We have Spider-Man on the list, but my truck broke down and I wasn't able to see it. I don't think Cat Claw was able to see it either. You want to save it for next time till we can see it, or you want to try and go over it anyway?
Yeah, I can make it very short, because I already talked 2 times about it. So Spider-Boy Part 3 is horrible. It is 2.5 hours, like Matrix. You never get back. It's not as bad as Matrix 4, but it is bad. It is the worst of the bunch of these 3 new Spider-Man movies, because it is the whole time just people talking. It has no action scenes, just the few ones in the trailers. That's it. And the story itself doesn't make any sense, because when they mess up the spell, and all these other villains come through, these 5 villains, he captures them, puts them into the cell into the dungeon of of Harry Potter Senior here, this Doctor Strange. And before Doctor Strange can send them back, he figures out that they came over in the moment they died, so he wants to save them by healing them from their badness, which is a typical Disney thing. And he has Stark equipment, so Tony Stark, he's back. His equipment is necessary to do that, so they have to put something Stark in every of these horrible sequels, which is just annoying. And yeah, that's the whole story. And,
What do you think about the box office, though? How much money it's making? Do you think it shows the weakness of the MCU films that
it
like
shows
the Eternals
the weakness of everything, not just the weakness of the MC. Yeah, okay, it's not as bad as Eternals, but this is really saying that the plague is not as bad as cancer or something like that.
Well, it might help end the lockdowns if you have this many people able to go out to these theaters and there's not some mass increase in deaths. It may show the world that we don't have to have these extreme measures.
Yes, that's true. But the thing is,
So I'm just saying there. I try to find positives. You know me, and I think that could be a positive. It might hurt the woke MCU, and it might help break the back of the lockdown mask people.
yeah, but on the price of my favorite superhero.
I know.
I was a Spider-Man fan my whole life, and now I'm not a Spider-Man
not?
fan anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stand anything Spider-Boy because
Didn't they bring in multiple Spider-Men?
yes.
So do you think they
stand
might?
around and talk?
Well, what I'm saying is, do you think they might have other movies where they bring in these other versions of the Spider-Man and actually have a good movie about a grown-up Spider-Man?
Which never is going to happen. These Spider-Man, they came in to make kind of fun of the former character. These characters are not the ones you know from the other movies. They're
I haven't seen it, but I'm just saying maybe because it made all this money, they might have movies with some of the previous guys.
I don't see
I'm trying to give you some hope here.
But the thing is, I was looking forward to see these Spider-Man doing stuff, not this stupid Spider-Boy. But these Spider-Man, they come in and they just talking the whole time. They're talking.
That sounds boring.
And this Tobey Maguire says to Andrew Garfield, "Oh, you were amazing! You were amazing! Get it? Get it?
Yes.
Because because Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield was the amazing Spider-Man, and you have so many scenes like that. The whole movie, even Electro is mentioning that he was disappointed when he found out that Spider-Man wasn't black. But maybe there's an alternate version of him black out there. Get it? Get it?
Yeah.
And you have that the whole movie. 2.5 hours of just.
Hopefully the next one will be better.
Yeah.
No, I don't want any Spider. I want.
You love Spider-Man.
Yes. No. If I wouldn't have given away my Spider-Man comics, I would have thrown them away when I saw that. Burnt them. And took the ashes and buried them into holy ground that they never come back.
Somebody should have bought you a dinosaur for Christmas. You wouldn't be so grumpy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, whatever. So
sorry about that.
So
it's Christmas, Greg. I'm trying to be positive
Greg,
here.
Greg, the most funny thing about that, The whole goal for this Spider Boy was that he wanted that people forget that he is Spider-Man. And I thought, oh my God, they don't have even a story or a plot because I have forgotten it already that he's Spider-Man. He was never Spider-Man for me. So he hasn't even a real problem because nobody thinks that he's Spider-Man anyway. So yeah. Or maybe the spell here from Strange worked just on me. I don't know.
Hey, Mike, my brother's in the chat.
Yeah, hi, Mike. And nice video, the last one here with the Mr. Frost here.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That
No.
was a good video.
Yeah, that was really good, and it was really interesting that this famous scene of of this movie wasn't intended to be in that way.
Yeah, that was. I ended up watching the movie last night as my Christmas movie. It's on Prime, Mike, if you want to see it.
Yeah, here, if you like, can put in the link to the review.
Oh, to Mike's video? That'd be cool.
Yeah. If I can find it in time, I'm going to do that. Yeah. I have it. Okay. So here's the link for people who can enjoy it. It's really interesting. It's a short video. It gives you a really interesting insight of one of the most famous scenes in horror movies.
Mike makes good videos. A lot of them get struck down. They don't get past YouTube censors or whatever.
Yeah. Big.
You know how that is.
YouTube brother. Big YouTube brother is watching your little brother.
So we're down to just one segment left, and that is the favorite directors segment. And our favorite director for this.
You are forgetting the thing that you started 2 streams ago. I'm now really disappointed.
Oh, you want to do the segment on our Japanese movie?
Yeah, the third Hanzo movie.
Yes, there is the third Hanzo movie.
So because we have now a woman here, we can't talk about it, I guess.
That's what I was
Oh,
thinking.
you can talk about it. They talk about it. It's cool. I want to know.
Yeah, the third Hanzo movie.
Was it the Sword of Justice?
No, it was Who Has the Gold?
Who has the gold? That's right.
Yeah, so it has. We already talked about the premise of the Hanzo movie, so so people understand why there is going to be a part we are leaving out here, because we already talked about that.
That's wise.
And the thing,
these are
no
if you've ever
idea.
watched the Lone Wolf and have you seen any of these Lone Wolf and Cub movies or Hanzo the Razor movies, Kat? They're like early 70s Japanese what would you call them? Sword fighting movies? What would the genre be called, Cub?
It is like Western, the lone the lone what you call it here, this Eastwood character, the lone
gunfighter.
Yeah, something like that. Just in Japanese, just with swords.
Like a wandering gunfighter, but he's a sword fighter. And in Lone Wolf and Cub, he's a former executioner who becomes a assassin. And in Hanzo the Razor, he's actually a police officer. Yeah. Samurai exploitation is what High Ground called it.
I've never seen it, but it sounds interesting.
They are. They're actually quite interesting and well acted, especially the Lone Wolf and Cub, because Cub in that is his son. His wife gets killed, and he travels the land. What he says, what is his expression, Cub? They're on the path to 5 hells by way of something.
Yeah, they are on the path to hell, and it's the
Oh,
premise
they're on the
is,
demon path to the five hills or something. He has a very specific phrase he uses, but when he says it, you can tell he means it. He's
yeah,
living
yeah,
in hell.
yeah. And by the way, this is where I have my name from. The Lone Wolf Cup is this is from Lone Wolf and Cup,
And that's
and
why I mentioned that, because it's a related series, and the same actor and stuff doing the Hanzo the Razor
yeah,
series
even the same
as,
director.
yeah, the same director,
Yeah,
I think the same writers. So you've got a very similar story told in a very similar time, early 70s, and it's set in like 16th century Japan, and it's very authentic and true to the time. And
yeah,
there's going to
but
be parts in there that are offensive to modern audiences.
yeah, but
But
these parts I want to say, I'm I now watched all three of the Hanzo movies, and I am a little bit disappointed that these parts where we can't talk about are even there, because the movies themselves without that are great. I really like them. They
it's a
have
puzzle as to why they're even there, isn't it? And it doesn't even fit the character of Hanzo.
they don't bring really something to the story. Yeah, kind of they do, but they take away from this great character, because
It doesn't
he
fit his personality or who he is. Because this is a
yeah,
straight up law abiding, he
yeah,
won't accept any corruption or anything around him, and
yeah,
yet he's got an interrogation technique that uh, I can't discuss.
yeah, that we can't talk about here.
I hate that. Why can't you talk about it? I mean, I don't know. Is it because of YouTube stuff or?
No, it has nothing to do with YouTube. It has to do with manners and taste. That's why we
Yeah,
don't talk
well,
about
that's the
it.
thing. I'm
Oh,
Southern and he's German, and it's difficult for us to discuss it.
Yeah,
But
because we already talked about it in the last two
we
times.
have discussed it. It's there on one of our previous shows. If you want to
Yeah,
hear what we're talking about, but
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So the thing is really, as I said, I watched now the series, the three movies, and I think because they had these scenes in there, maybe this is even the reason why they never continued. Because really, where do you want to go from there? It's really, but Low Move and Cup, this is a whole other thing. And Low Move and Cup is brilliant. For me, kind of perfect. And Hanzo is interesting. It is interesting watch. But as I said,
you hadn't
I
even seen it until I brought it to your attention.
yes, yeah. And as I said, I think because they went this road with because when you watch these three movies, you see that these scenes we are not talking about, they get more and more with every movie
Yeah,
for some reason. And I
I
have
think it's an
every
early '70s sex ethos thing. They
yeah, and I
wanted to they wanted to push the boundaries of good
yeah,
taste,
oh,
and
yeah, and I think every time when when I saw the next one, I thought, damn it, this is such an interesting story, and what the why the
and here we go
hell?
again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and I really
it's something that they can't even. No one in Germany even knows about these movies because of these scenes.
yeah, because they never came out here, and they will never ever
They're
get,
not even
come out here.
discussed.
Yeah,
Wow.
they don't exist here in Germany. That's the reason why I never have heard of them. So I think there's not even a German wiki page for them. So
Wow.
yeah, yeah, but as I said, for people who before you watch the Hanzo series, make yourself a little bit familiar what they are about, and then decide for yourself if this is for you or if it's not for you.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say as final words on that.
They are interesting movies, though.
Yeah,
I'll
as a
probably give them a check.
They capture a zeitgeist of the time.
yeah, but I think if you compare them to Lone Wolf and Cub, I think Lone Wolf and Cub is the superior series.
Oh yeah,
That's
Lone Wolf and Cub is superior.
yeah, and especially because we have in this one we have Lone Wolf without Cub, and
Yeah,
and we know from practice Cub is the most important part, and
right.
everything can ask Jess.
That's right.
So yeah, so
Okay, so I guess that finishes our Hanzo segment, which has been interesting.
yeah,
And we
Yeah.
go to our final segment, favorite directors with Frankenheimer. And my pick was Path to War, which is, I believe, a very interesting movie about how Johnson found himself pushed into the Vietnam War by factors that he couldn't seem to control. He actually had the ability and the wherewithal not to do it, but he had inherited these people from the Kennedy administration. Specifically, McNamara was his Secretary of Defense, and McNamara pushed him into this war that they really shouldn't have done. Now, if you see the movie, you'll see that Johnson wins election, and his big thing was the Great Society. He was the one who put the what little bit we have of a food program and a medical program for the elderly and the people who have no money. When you see the Joker, you see that he basically gets cut off from the tiny little bit he gets. In America, we have very little
yes, and
medical.
you should mention
Yeah.
that
You got that right.
it was John Frankenheimer's last movie, by the way. It is a TV
Was
movie.
it his last one?
Yeah, 2002, and I think when did he die? Yeah, he died even in the same year. He died 2002.
I thought I'd never seen a movie that really showed what had happened with Johnson and how he got sucked into that war. And what did you think of it, Cub? I wanted you to see it just to see what a international perspective would be on that. Is this different than you had thought about how America fought that war?
Yes, it is different, and so first off, it is a good movie from technical um, standpoints. It is an entertaining movie. There's not much action, but it has to be. It's really more about this politics and so on. And for people who are into that, it is an entertaining movie. But I didn't like it, not because it's not well made. I didn't like it because I don't believe what I'm seeing there. Because it shows these people like Johnson and so on as you said, as normal humans who have good intentions and things like that. And it's not like how I see the world, and it's not like how I see people in power. And also, it is not like how I think politics are made today or were made back then. because when you see the movie, you get the illusion that the president can be tricked by McNamara or whatever to do something that he didn't want to do, and who cares for the people who have to die because of his decisions and things like that, which is the common narrative. And I don't believe in the common narrative. I believe in the deep state, or I believe in the existence of the deep state, which, from my point of view, this is more of a fairy tale, which we got to see there, which is the official narrative, by the way. So when I say fairy tale, I don't mean fantasy or something like that. This is what, when you research these events, this is how they are presented. But I don't think that they really went that way. Can you give you a direct an example what I mean with that? Because can you remember in the movie they talk also about the Potemkin incidents here, which started the Vietnam War for the Americans. Can you remember?
The Gulf of
yes, here this incident with the boat Potemkin, or what
I don't think it was Potemkin. It was the Gulf of Tonkin or something.
Tonkin, yeah,
Tonkin Gulf, yes.
Yeah, and they present this incident like it was really an incident, and it was not initiated from the CIA, because that it was. There were no Vietnamese who thought, oh, it's a good idea to attack an American cannon boat, or what you call it, and destroyer, and to drag them into the war. That doesn't make any sense.
It did look like that was a CIA operation, but if you follow,
it was the CIA revealed that already. It is the documents were secret, but they aren't anymore. It is no secret that this is staged. This is staged, and also, by the way,
that doesn't mean the president necessarily knew that they had done that.
Yeah, okay. But fun fact.
That would have been more of McNamara's shenanigans if you follow the movie.
Did you know that the guy who was the commander on this boat with the incident was the father of Jim Morrison, the Doors singer?
No, I didn't know that.
Yes.
You're full of interesting facts. But there's something about Johnson. He was the one who pushed through the civil rights legislation to give blacks the equality in voting. He was the one who pushed through Medicaid and Medicare to give old people health care and to give people with no money, like you see in the Joker, some kind of if the Joker had got knocked down and went to the hospital, the only way he would have got treated is because of Johnson and Johnson's program.
Yeah,
that's what he called the Great Society. What fits in with that personality is not this warmonger. It fits the Frankenheimer movie that this guy could have got tricked.
Wait a second. Talking about getting tricked, let's talk about how Johnson even became president in the first time. He replaced John F. Kennedy.
Yes, after he was assassinated.
And there are rumors out there that he was involved.
Yes, it could easily have been Johnson. He's one of my prime suspects.
Yeah. So,
but if you were Johnson and you knew Kennedy wasn't going to pass these bills, and you knew you could get them through, and you could save all these people, the old people and the very sick and the people with no money, I could see somebody deciding to have this guy bumped off to get the presidency.
Yeah,
The
maybe.
guy, Johnson was
but
from Texas. We're a bit ruthless at times.
okay, but that's the only good thing about Johnson.
Like
What you
you
can
say about
say.
the Germans, we're not always sunshine and light.
Yeah, no, but this is the only positive thing I can say about Johnson, that he comes from Texas. But
Yeah, see?
still, I'm not.
I think I
Yeah,
like the
Greg,
movie.
uh,
Maybe it's not what actually happened, but it's what maybe happened. And it
Greg,
was a well done movie.
Greg. The thing is, we are talking here about responsibility, because it's like with Trump nowadays, when people say, yeah, Trump, he is the president for the people and things like that, and Biden is awful. I know Biden is awful, but I also know that Trump was in charge when we got this Corona scam. But now people are defending him, saying, yeah, but he couldn't do anything, and he tries now to help
I
from.
think they created the Corona thing to get rid of Trump, but I can't say that on the air.
Yeah, but
Oops.
but the thing is not. I don't think that there is a they without Trump. I don't think that Trump is fighting the deep state. I think he is part of the deep state. He's part of the plan. I bring Trump up because it's the same with Johnson. I know that when Trump was in power, he did many good things for the people. I know that. So
That's
we
right,
have
like
here,
Teddy Roosevelt. You have
yeah,
some presidents
yeah,
who make a big impact.
yeah. So we had the
And
same,
Johnson and Roosevelt and Trump
yeah,
was trying
yes,
to, but it got cut short. We
yeah,
won't know what he would have really done.
yes, and so we have here the similarity with Johnson. That Johnson, on paper, when you look not close enough, you see, oh, he did some good things for the people. But there are some facts out there which are just ignored. When Johnson was in power, America joined Vietnam and got into the Vietnam War. Now you can say, yeah, it was not Johnson, it was McNamara. Okay, and with Trump, the same thing. When Trump was in power, we have now the Corona crisis. Now you can say, but Trump, he couldn't do anything. It was all the people surrounding him, or bad people in his staff, or whatever. So we have here the same arguments, that somebody doesn't have to be responsible for his actions, or when he is the commander for the
Oh,
actions
he's
of his people.
responsible. Everybody blames Johnson. I just think it was an interesting movie that gives us a insight on what might have happened. That movie is based on, like you say, the actual factual records of those meetings that have come out since then, and now we get to see what McNamara said and did. And one thing he said to the president, and then the other thing he said to the Congress and the people, and it's interesting for me. It fits what actually happened.
Yeah, and by the way, Greg, the only reason why I didn't watch the movie before you told me to was because I can't stand these history lessons from the winners. Because you know that the winners write history. But it doesn't mean that the history that they write is the correct one.
Well, I've always found that you reading the histories from the people who lose wars has always been more accurate history.
Yeah, and as I
So
said,
that's why when you look into a war, you want to look at the winners and the losers. In this case, though, we lost the Vietnam War. I might point out we lost that war. So you would be looking, when you listen to this, you'd be looking at the version from the losers. So in this one case,
yeah, but you didn't really lose the war.
you
Because
didn't expect that, did you? We did lose the war.
No, Vietnam got really destroyed, and the people are suffering till today because of the war. You don't have to
No,
forget
that's
there
true.
were
You know,
there were
Johnson wanted to rebuild it, but they
yeah
didn't
there
let him.
were yeah yes
Hi,
but
Basil. Basil's in the chat.
yeah, hi Basil. Nice you are here. Yeah, but as I said, it's a little bit more complicated.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
it is.
extremely complicated, but it was
No,
an interesting movie.
but Greg, we can agree on that. It's a good movie, but as I said, maybe 5 or 10 years earlier, I would have enjoyed it. But
Oh man.
with the knowledge, what came out the last 10 years, I can't enjoy these kind of movies anymore. I really can't look at it just as a movie because it's when I know or I think that I know that there's so much more going on, which is not and that the presentation is not really what really happened. Because why
Well,
should they
I
show
thought
us
you
what
got.
really happened?
I thought it was probably the best portrayal of President Johnson I ever saw. I mean, he
May
had the mannerisms down. He had the way he talked down. He like if the you can say it's not true or whatever, but it could be true. It's possible, and I thought it gave me some insight onto what might have happened. I can't say it's absolutely true. Like you say, we're being spoon-fed bullshit all the time, especially when it comes to history. But I thought it was a well-done movie. And my backup movie was The Train, in black and white with Burt Lancaster. Have you ever seen that? Where the Germans are
yes,
taking the artwork from France.
yes, where the Germans try to save the artwork from France. Not they don't take it.
No, they
They
were
want
getting it for safekeeping.
yes.
Confiscated.
Confiscated for the Confederacy.
Yeah. It's another misunderstanding, as
To
usual.
be returned upon our inevitable victory. I understand quite well, but I thought the cinematography in The Train was well done. I thought it was Burt Lancaster's greatest movie. I mean, Frankenheimer really got a great performance out of him. That normally he's more laconic and I can't describe it, but in this, I actually believed his performance as real. And the Germans were not cardboard cutouts; they were real people. Some of the shots when they're calling out, it's just little things in this movie that really impressed me.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused about this unrealistic portray of Germans, not as cardboard cutouts. But besides that, I really liked it.
So, and that's a history movie, and it's supposedly based on a true event. So, if you don't want to see past the war, and I understand, you might want to watch The Train as a backup.
Yes,
So
the train.
we only have
It's a really entertaining movie. I don't like war movies in general, and especially not World War II movies. But this one, I really liked.
It was
Even
different.
even with Germans as the bad guy as usual. But it's really also that it was shot in black and white.
It was beautifully shot in black and white.
Yeah, it brought so much to the table. Really, it had this atmosphere, the gritty atmosphere, kind of. Yeah. If you can watch it, watch it.
What year was it made?
I'm not sure. What year was it made, Cub?
60s, 64, something like that,
Oh,
or 60 even. I would
It's
say.
definitely a very good movie. I think you'd like it, Kat. Now, Kat, do you have a favorite Frankenheimer movie?
65.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, I think you have. He made so many movies. Grand Prix is one that I've seen a few times on television back then.
Was that the one with James Garner?
Yeah, I think so. You know it.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I think here. What is the name of this here? And Quinn. I think. Yeah, James Garner. You are right, but I thought it is with. What's the name of here? Very popular star from back then.
The Manchurian Candidate. I've seen it. If it's the guy you're talking about that directed, I've
Well, what
seen
did you think of that movie?
The Manchurian Candidate. It was pretty good. I liked it.
Well, there you go. There's Kat's favorite Frankenheimer movie, Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah, because
which was very controversial. It got banned here.
Hey, because she can't remember the other great,
he did
ones.
He did Black Sunday. Yeah, that's a good one too.
He did the Birdman of Alcatraz. You can't tell me that you haven't seen that.
That one, it's been a long time, but I have seen it. I see he did Prophecy.
That was a Burt Lancaster movie too.
Yeah, the Prophecy that sucked.
Was that the one with the giant bear?
Yeah, with the bear mutant whatsoever.
Yeah, the mutant bear.
Yeah.
Wow.
There are mutant bears all over Germany, probably, and werewolves.
Yeah, and a Birdman of Alcatraz probably is probably his best one, I would say. But my favorite is from Frankenheimer, French Connection 2.
Oh yeah, let's hear about that.
Yeah, because it was so unusual. You had a continuation where it didn't just repeat the first movie or first story, where we have a cop who goes unusual ways to get his results. He is brutal, and you have this car chase, very famous French Connection. In the second one, this cop that tried to get rid of him by this is all about drugs, by the way, and they try to get rid of him by making him a drug addict. And you see, and you see in this one how he makes a cold what you call it when you get rid of the drugs in your body. Cold turkey, yes. And these scenes are intense. It's really Gene Hackman is great in that.
Yeah, it was very unusual. There was a lot of shots of Paris too in the 70s. You know, they did a lot of shooting outside in the streets.
Yeah. So
it was a real glimpse of France and Paris in the mid 70s. I enjoyed that. It's one thing I liked about Day of the Jackal was all these outside shots of Europe that I enjoyed.
Yeah. As we already said, Frankenheimer, he's one of these directors who started out with some really good movies, even classics, which most of the people know, because even if they don't remember the name or whatever, but then he got his face. I think it started with The Prophecy in 97, where his movies became a little bit dated, I would say that. He didn't go with the time. He reminds me a little bit of Richard Fleischer, here, the guy who made Inner Space and ended up. He made classics like Soylent Green and Inner Space, and ended up with Conan the Destroyer and
well, High Ground Cantina says the sound design on the train was revolutionary to film and storytelling. What about that, Cub?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. I believe that I've seen the trailer just one time, so I really didn't pay so much attention to the sound design back then
You
when
didn't
I
know there was
saw
going to
it.
be a test, did you?
Yeah, but Frankenheimer,
Welcome to my world.
Frankenheimer, he's just one of these directors who had their great time in the 60s and 70s, but who did continued making movies even after the time was kind of up, not because they weren't capable anymore to make movies, but because they didn't go with the time. Because every movie after this prophecy is mediocre or even bad. You don't have really a good one. Don't forget, Frankenheimer is the one who made DNA, who finished DNA after Richard Linklater left the set, and they brought Frankenheimer in as kind of director for hire to just finish the movie. And it's really he became really kind of his movies. I would say the only decent one in the 80s was maybe Power Play. Would or what would you say? Or Dead Bang? I don't know. They are not great movies. They're just okay. I
Dead
would
Bang was
say.
okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's it. It's just, that's it. We, for example, if you want to see a director also going this road, like Frankenheimer did and Fleischer did, you here. What's the director for hire here, which they brought in for Star Wars to finish the
Oh,
Solo?
Opie.
Yeah. Ron Howard.
Ron Howard. Yeah, Opie from Andy Griffith.
Yes,
Oh my god.
yes, Ron Howard. The thing is, you have these directors which started out great and had their time. There was a time, a period, a century or two even, where they were really good, where you thought, okay, they can't do wrong. They know what they're doing. But then the time is over. They can't keep up, and they become these directors for hire or whatever. And also every movie of them gets worse and worse. And can you remember what was the movie before Solo?
Oh god, I don't remember.
Greg?
No, what do you mean? We've had Last Jedi, and before that you had
Before Solo,
Rogue One.
no, from Ron Howard. He made this
what he made?
He made this god awful movie, Moby Dick movie.
Did he?
Without Moby Dick.
I can't
with,
remember.
with Thor. Yeah, nobody can because nobody saw it. It was big, huge flop. Yeah, Moby Dick without Moby Dick, kind of. It was stupid premise from the get go. Was
that one where they were in the lifeboat or something?
Yeah, it was the story kind of the story.
I can't remember the name of it, but I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, it was the story before Moby Dick or something.
The story of them after the boat got sank or something.
No, it was the story that led into Moby Dick or something like that. It was a prequel, something like
prequel.
It was.
You got me.
It was boring and bad and uninteresting and it has Thor as main actor. So yeah, so it was not good. So
I think I remember a trailer of that, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, and it's really.
Well, do you have a director you want to pick for next time, and we can get our favorite movies from that?
Huh? Who, me?
Yeah, you, Cub. It's your show.
No, the director's pick is on you.
All right, I'll try and find another one with some other great movie.
Yeah, because when I pick a director, I make a retrospective on him.
I know.
Yeah.
No, Frankenheimer had some good early movies that we pointed out. There it is, In the Heart of the Sea. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah. Can you remember that? Have you seen that?
I don't think I watched it. To tell you the truth, I thought it was lame. But
Yeah.
I could make a point of watching it in the future sometime
Yeah,
if it becomes an assignment.
I think you have watched the trailer and thought, I skipped this
Yeah,
one.
that's exactly what happened. It looked terrible.
Yeah, the thing is, Ron Howard, the last glimpse, last hope was this very good race movie here about Niki Lauda and this other guy. Can you remember that, Greg?
Ford versus Ferrari, maybe?
No, that was not from from Ron Howard. I mean,
I don't know. Mike might remember it. What was the race movie, Mike? I can't use my technology. Everything crashed on me. I'm barely able to. I'm barely able to stream and text.
When I tell you, you directly know what I mean.
Rush.
Rush, yes, Rush.
Oh, there we go. See, Cat got it.
Yeah, Rush. That was the last good movie from Ron Howard. Kind of, for me, it's like the flame that is now going down, and or the lamp or whatever, and you see the last time that it blinks, it shines bright, and that's it. And after that,
so you're promising us one last good movie from Ron, maybe?
No, that was Rush.
No, that was it.
Yeah, Rush was it. I really thought, oh my God, Ron Howard. Completely forget about that guy when I saw Rush. And but we saw, or after that, he was announced as solo replacement director whatsoever, and we got this horrible Moby Dick wannabe, Heart of the Sea or whatever. And he's done. Sorry.
I think Solo did him in.
It's really just he was never this great director, and the chance for that, the train, or he missed the train.
Oh no!
Choo choo.
Yeah.
Let's say it this way, and I really I you see it with other directors also. I fear that Zemeckis maybe also goes this road because his latest movies I was really was not that great, I think. But at least Zemeckis he's much better director than Howard ever was. So I think at least. Okay. So that's it, Greg.
That's it. That's the whole list. I think that's the show. We went almost 4 hours.
Really? We got everything? That can't be true.
Yeah, that's everything. We double check.
Yeah. Now I know what we forgot. We didn't talk about Corona and all these political things.
No, we didn't. You covered some of it at the beginning.
Yeah, that's why it's so short.
I usually don't put that on the list. Normally that just comes up naturally.
So you want that people confuse our political stream with an entertainment stream?
No, well, it's Christmas. We always try to do a fun stream on Christmas.
This try
is our
that
annual thing.
I
try that every show.
I
But
try
I
to be
especially try hard
serious.
on Christmas. I tried to come up with all the positive stuff, and I tried to push it through as best I could. Man, my technology sucked today, but I kept coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes they come back. I
Yeah,
know. Yeah, no, but we got this Corona crap already out of the way with our cool names. So it was the whole time present.
it was there the whole time.
It was
I
there the
know they
whole
saw
time. Yeah, you can't escape the variants. So
it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I like that. We're the variants.
yeah,
Well, I was proud
yeah.
of you for making it through the whole show, Kat. You did good.
Hey, I thank you. Yeah, this was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
Is it your first stream where you've been on for hours?
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
it's kind of different when you're on for a long time.
Yeah,
You
it was
get a
really.
chance to think.
Oh, what?
You get a chance to think and express yourself a little bit more when you have longer time.
Yeah, sometimes it takes me a while to think about things. And it's
Yeah.
easier that way.
Yeah, but Kat, the government doesn't want you to think or ask questions or something like that. they
Oh,
Yeah,
I
just
that's
know.
true.
they just want us to believe and
Obey.
to comply and obey.
They want you to consume and obey.
Yeah, yeah. So
And I don't obey very well at all.
so I'm really curious how this whole mess is going to turn out. I think, is it in Texas or is it in the US also that people are more and more on the streets trying to get
Yeah.
rid of this Biden, of this president pretender?
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really about time. Greg, do you think that he's going to make the whole 4 years? Or do you think
I
he's
would be
going to?
surprised if he lasted out his first term.
Yeah, it seems
I
like
think he's gonna be relieved under. They've got a special section in the Constitution that's never been used, but it's there in case you get an incompetent president or medically unfit. I think that's what's going to happen to him,
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
or
It's
he'll
really,
resign.
it's
Weekend
really
at Biden's.
curious, a wonder that he even stayed so long, because he wasn't fit from the get-go, and it looks really that he, every day we get the message that he just dies because he's so ill. He has dementia, obviously, and can't do anything on his own. Or do I get the
Yeah,
wrong
that's a
impression?
fair statement.
Yeah.
He's obviously just a figurehead.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't see him that he sees 2023, because he looks like an ill person.
Yeah,
And
he really does.
I pity him, really. Don't want him any harm or something like
I
that.
agree.
Even he seems like a bad person, but maybe, like you said, Greg, maybe he is not a bad person. Maybe it's just the people who pull his strings. They are bad persons.
I
And
think that's probably true.
yeah, he just comes off as an old man, confused man who's ill, and who really shouldn't waste his last years pretending to be the president of whatsoever.
Yeah, that's
Because
true. I
that's all-
pity him.
Yeah, because that's all he does. It's really, he could also wake up in an insane asylum where he pretends to be Napoleon or whatever,
I'm sorry.
Yes, and they let
I'm-
him do his speeches whatsoever, the other patients, and I think it would be the same thing for him. He wouldn't even recognize the difference.
Probably not.
This is just sad. It
It
is.
is.
Yeah, and we have here in Germany, by the way, we have here the same situation. We have here new chancellor, Führer, whatever, who is incompetent beyond belief and corrupt beyond belief, but the real joke are his ministers. We have what you call the minister for foreign affairs. Is that the name? Is that a ministry?
That sounds about right.
We don't have ministers.
What you call them?
Ambassadors.
Yeah, ambassadors. Yeah, but no, but we have the one.
We have
who,
Secretary of State.
Yeah.
something like that. Secretary of State, I think, is the one who talks to other nations or not.
Yes.
I believe
Yeah.
so, yeah.
The State
Yeah.
Department is in charge of international relations.
Yeah, and our Secretary of State, for example, is a woman who had who lied about her qualifications completely. She lied about everything and had to correct everything that she said. And the last thing that remained besides her name was just the fact that she was 2 years in Britain, supposedly.
Everything else.
But she can't speak English.
What?
She barely speaks German. Her German. No, really, and it's not
I
even a
believe
joke.
you.
That's
No.
crazy.
No, it's not a joke. She comes from the
No.
Green Party, and
God.
she is you wouldn't she wouldn't make it even as a waitress or something like that, or if she would have to work at McDonald's. Impossible for her abilities. She's not able for this kind of complicated work. So and we have somebody in charge here, Ministry of Health, who also has zero qualifications, talks stupid shit the whole time. They make fun of him. He's like a joke, like he's like Biden, and it reminds me of the Romanic Empire, of the when these I think Nero or Caligula. Greg, can you remember that when the story
last
when
days of the Roman Empire?
yeah, when one of these emperors put a horse in charge as a minister.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
do remember
Oh
that.
my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, he
Wow.
did that to insult the Senate.
Yes, and we have here the same situation. Really, we have people as senators or as here in charge who are so obviously unqualified and that it's not even a joke anymore. It's really I don't know. I can't describe it. I can't describe it properly. But you have your Biden, so maybe you understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're starting to understand it.
Yeah. So, okay, I would say that's long enough. Let's say goodbye to our audience and
Merry Christmas, everybody.
yeah,
Merry Christmas.
and Merry
Don't
Christmas
shoot
to
at
everybody.
Santa.
Yeah, and a Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year.
And
I
Yes,
guess we'll be
Happy
getting
New
back together sometime in February or something if you want, Cub.
yeah, February sounds good for me.
We'll look and see what's a good date.
Yeah, you can choose a day in February. That's for me okay.
We'll see if Bazzil or Cat or somebody can join us, or however you want
Oh,
to play it, Cub.
I was getting ready to say, if you guys ever want me back, I'd love to be back. Doesn't bother me at all.
I'm
I
sure
like
we'll
it
have you
here.
back sometime.
Yeah, Kat, you have an open invitation
Cool.
here. You can come anytime in when you want.
There you go. Woohoo!
Thank you.
So I'm